I am the most evil Grand Minister of all time, and also the real power holder who freely manipulated the empire's politics. But though omnipotent, the one thing I couldn't do was enjoy Eunuch. So, for that longing in my heart, I decided to activate the Great Reincarnation technique and start life anew. Even if the survival rate is only 1%, it cannot shake my resolve. What good is money, power, and strong martial arts, if, in the end, I'm just a dead eunuch, without his manhood? Remembering when I was 12, after being tricked by a black-hearted slave trader, he then cut off my manhood and sold me into the imperial palace. In the years that followed, to get my manhood back, I not only visited all the famous doctors, but also diligently cultivated to become the top master in the imperial palace. I even turned the brainless emperor into my puppet. But in the end, fate did not grant my wish. So I prepared for the reincarnation ritual. In my next life, I must enjoy Eunuch. 3,000 wives and concubines. That definitely cannot make up for my regrets in this life. Just then, the emperor came crying to me, "Grandpa, is Eunuch really that important? If you stop this ritual, I can grant you any request." But I resolutely refused his request, and ordered my men to forcibly send him back. Perhaps because I watched him grow up since he was little, I had long regarded him as my own younger sister. Even though his conditions made me waver a bit, I knew deep down, as a man, the greatest sorrow is not being able to stand up. It's better to die than to live like this. As per my command, the ritual continued quickly. With the activation of the Great Reincarnation technique, countless, blinding lights began to burst from my body. When I opened my eyes again, I found an old fellow sitting next to me. Seeing this, my lower body involuntarily tensed up, because this person was the one who, in my previous life, cut off my manhood, Wang San. This left me utterly confused. Wasn't this guy killed by bandits? Why is he perfectly fine here? Could it be that I wasn't reincarnated but reborn? Anxious, I quickly lifted my pants to take a look. Thank goodness, my manhood is still there. The old fellow was also baffled watching my actions. "Child, are you feeling unwell somewhere?" Hearing this, I first feigned delight, then revealed a deeply meaningful smile. "Uncle, thank you for saving me. But my wrist hurts a bit now. Can you take me to a nearby clinic to have a look?" The old fellow pretended to be concerned and helped me up, even telling me his home happened to have many herbs. I scoffed inwardly, then snapped one of his fingers. "What? Are you trying to kidnap me and then cut off my manhood? Turning me into a eunuch?" Suddenly, the old fellow looked shocked. How do you know?" Before he could finish, I twisted and broke his arm. The skills of the Imperial Palace's top master are no joke. Although I lack internal energy now, fortunately, I still remember all the martial arts learned in my past life. Then, I choked him with both hands, sternly saying, "I searched everywhere in the Imperial Palace for news of you. When I learned you were killed by bandits, do you know how regretful I was? It's you, you damn slave trader, who made me a eunuch for a lifetime." As I spoke, I directly snapped his neck, and still not satisfied, I spat on him. In my past life, I held power and money, yet I couldn't enjoy anything. But now, I am different. In this life, I will live for Eunuch. 2 months later, I am climbing towards the summit of Kongtongshan. For that longing in my heart, I will definitely persist. Because in this world, there is nothing I look forward to more than Eunuch. Although I could enjoy it by spending some money, I absolutely cannot offer decades of my virginity to such low-level pleasure. I must have a sweet romance with a peerless beauty, that mutual admiration, and the dual pleasure of body and spirit. That is the Eunuch I pursue. So, the most important thing now is to accumulate wealth and fame. And my purpose for coming to Kongtongshan is to join the Taoist-centered Kongtong Pai. It combines Confucian, Buddhist, and Taoist martial arts, and is considered a renowned orthodox sect in the martial world. But due to the mixed nature of its techniques, some people often confuse it with demonic or evil sects. As long as I can join smoothly, and then combine it with future intelligence, I believe it won't be long before I become a formidable hero in the martial world. Thinking of this, I couldn't help but smile deviously. A moment later, I finally arrived at the main gate of the Kongtong Pai. I bowed respectfully. "I am Li Zhixio, Is anyone here? Hearing the childish voice, the old Taoist priest was quite surprised. Could a child climb Kongtong Shan in the dead of winter? Seeing no one answer, I shouted at the gate again. Bandits caused me to lose my parents. Now I only want to become strong to avenge my parents. Please, Kongtong Pai, accept me as a disciple. The next second, the old Taoist priest suddenly appeared with a bang. Such a young child, climbing Kongtong Shan all alone. Aren't you afraid of dying? I firmly stated. Compared to joining the Kongtong Pai, these are nothing. The old Taoist priest paused for a few seconds upon hearing this, then asked me to extend my hand and arm. After taking my pulse for a moment, he immediately determined I used the to my fa to ascend the mountain. This is a mental cultivation method based on accumulating qi. Since you have already comprehended this method, it means you have some foundation in martial arts. Did your parents teach you these? I nodded, lying through my teeth, and said I practiced this only to improve my energy. Then, the old Taoist priest began to introduce himself. I am the leader of the Kongtong Pai, Kuan Ing. Normally, joining the sect requires various assessments. But seeing your good aptitude, I'll make an exception and let you join. Hearing this, I appeared very excited on the surface. But secretly, I wore a triumphant expression. Because how could the crumbling Kongtong Pai refuse a new disciple? Thinking this, I quickly did a few sets of Taigang exercises. For future Yunyu Ji Lu, I must constantly train now. But when I truly stepped into the Kongtong Pai, the dilapidated sight before me still exceeded my expectations. Although the Kongtong Pai was one of the 9 major factions and one sect, it suffered heavy losses in the Great Righteous Demonic War 50 years ago. But to not even have a single intact pavilion now, isn't that too exaggerated? Just then, the sect leader suddenly spoke, saying he wanted to introduce a senior martial brother to me. And I naturally knew who this senior martial brother was. That would be Lu Zhengwei, later revered as the Jiansheng. Right now, I can use some effort to win her over before her rise. Then, after the sect leader's introduction, a fierce snowstorm rushed towards me. The next second, a dashing figure appeared before my eyes. Junior brother, hello. My name is Lu Zhengwei. Seeing this, I was utterly shocked. How can this kid be so handsome? This is a world of difference from her portrait in my past life. It seems true that many women fought over her. Thinking of this, I felt terrible. If this continues, will all future beauties become hers? Seeing my expression change, Lu Zhengwei asked with concern if I was feeling unwell. I replied on the surface that I was just a bit shy with strangers, but inwardly I was praying. Her manhood was only 3 centimeters long. Just then, Lu Zhengwei suddenly grabbed my arm. Come with me. I have many places I want to show you. After getting my consent, she dragged me away like flying a kite. But being pulled by a man like this made me feel very uncomfortable. So I forcefully shook off her hand. Senior brother, let go quickly. Seeing this, Lu Zhengwei was stunned at first, then embarrassedly apologized. It's my first time having a junior brother. I'm too happy. Did I scare you? After calming down, I also apologized to her, saying I overreacted. Now is not the time to fuss over these things. For future considerations, right now, I must maintain a friendly relationship with Lu Zhengwei. Then, Lu Zhengwei began to tell me the history of the Kongtong Pai. After the Righteous Demonic War, only the Xuan Hagong, where the sect leader resides, and the Qingyun Ji, where the disciples live, remained. But please believe me, the Kongtong Pai will not fall like this. I heard from the sect leader, during the Righteous Demonic War, no one expected the demonic sect to first attack the strongest Kongtong Pai. Hearing this, I suddenly interrupted her, because she was slowly approaching me again. I can understand. Senior brother wants to tell me the history here. But can we please maintain some distance? I'm a bit shy. Hearing this, Lu Zhengwei became somewhat dejected. Forced by the situation, I quickly stepped forward and said, Senior brother, I want to continue listening to you talk about the history of the Kongtong Pai. Hearing this, Lu Zhengwei instantly cheered up, and I looked smug. To coax a boy of the same age, you just need to say what they want to hear. But what I didn't expect was, Lu Zhengwei, forgetting herself, hugged me again, in broad daylight. What kind of situation is it for 2 boys to have their arms around each other's shoulders? Meanwhile, The sect leader watched the gradually subsiding snow and couldn't help sighing. It seems winter on Kongtongshan is about to end. I remember 10 years ago. It was also around this time I found the orphan Lu Jiangwei. After discovering she was a martial arts genius, I have been wholeheartedly nurturing her, hoping she can restore the glory of the Kongtong Pai. And Jixio's arrival is just right. It allows her to interact with a man of similar age in advance, and thereby learn how to prevent men from discovering her disguise as a man. Back in my room, I lay in bed, unable to sleep. Today is my first day joining the Kongtong Pai, and also a meaningful day. But it was all ruined by that Lu Jiangwei. You know, she is the peerless Qilin of the Kongtong Pai, a genius among geniuses. In my past life, her admirers even started a bloody storm in the martial world for her, without batting an eyelid. She was a great figure who could rebuild the Kongtong Pai. But what I don't understand is, why does someone with such ability, character, and looks not even glance at women? Everyone said she was obsessed with martial arts. But today I finally understand. She is a bona fide homosexual. This reminds me of when I was in the imperial palace in my past life. I personally saw those eunuchs without manhood, forging new paths for that longing in their hearts. But I'm not gay. I am a man who wants to become a king of vitality. I absolutely cannot let Lu Jiangwei have improper thoughts about my rear. Thinking this, looking at my dispirited manhood, I thought of another training method. Right now, it's late at night. It's time to use the Oka Yundong. On the first day after rebirth, I swore to live for the enjoyment of Yunyu Ji Lu. Only because in my past life, I was a great eunuch who remained a virgin for 50 years. So, for that longing in my heart, I must quickly accumulate wealth and fame. Thus, I joined the down-on-its-luck Kongtong Pai. But what I didn't expect was that Lu Jiangwei, the Jiansheng who revitalized the Kongtong Pai in my past life, turned out to be a two-faced homosexual. This reminded me of a scene I peeked at in the imperial palace. A eunuch without his manhood, for that longing in his heart, actually forged a new path. This made my rear clench. I am a man who wants to be a king of vitality. I absolutely cannot let Lu Jiangwei have improper thoughts about my rear. Thinking this, looking at my manhood that had been listless all day, I thought of another training method. Right now, it's late at night. It's time to use the Oka Yundong. Meanwhile, Lu Jiangwei, revealing her female form, also couldn't understand what was wrong with her today, making two mistakes towards the newly joined junior brother. Perhaps it was because she suddenly gained a family member. She was too happy and couldn't hold back. Could this be the feeling of having a brother? Thinking of this, Lu Jiangwei's face couldn't help but flush. I hope our relationship in the future can be close enough to put our arms around each other's shoulders. The next day, the sun had just risen, and I had already cleaned the kitchen. Although I expected it, I have to say, the Kongtong Pai is truly poor. But these things, compared to my desire to become a great hero and marry 3 wives and 4 concubines, are nothing at all. Right now, I must cherish every minute and second to leave a good impression on the sect leader and senior sister. Thinking this, I quickly did a few sets of Taigang exercises. Just then, Lu Jiangwei suddenly rushed in. "Junior brother, are you preparing breakfast all by yourself?" I hurriedly replied, "This is what a junior brother should do." Lu Jiangwei beamed upon hearing this. "This is the first time I've seen such a clever and hardworking child." I agreed while sighing inwardly. I have to say, her face is truly damn handsome. If I were half as good looking as her, I wouldn't need to try so hard. Thinking this, I explained to her that it was because I lost my parents young, so I matured early. If my actions made you uncomfortable, I apologize. Lu Jiangwei quickly waved her hands. "That's not what I meant before. I just feel that you and I are both orphans, sharing a similar fate. So I wanted to come and help you." This left me speechless. This person has been apologizing since yesterday. Is she trying to prove she's a nice person? Then, Lu Jiangwei offered to help me prepare vegetables and cook. It seems this person really cares about the relationship between martial brothers and sisters. But then again, in her past life, the Jinsheng, Lu Jiangwei only had one junior martial sister, known as the first flower of the righteous path. But that was much later. Meaning, right now, she only has me as a friend. If it's just because of this, Then I'll play along with her for now. So, I amicably indicated. She just needed to guide me from the side. But inwardly, I thought, I absolutely cannot become friends with her, because I only want to use her future fame, or use her fame to capture beauties, making them fall for my charm. Just then, the wooden shelf holding the kitchenware suddenly broke, and the large iron pot on top happened to be heading towards me, about to crash down. In the nick of time, a hand suddenly supported my waist, and also tightly gripped my hand. The person was Lu Jiangwei. Junior brother, are you okay? This scene was simply breathtaking. For a moment, I couldn't help but blush. At the same time, I also smelled a fragrance of wildflowers on Lu Jiangwei. But I quickly sensed something was wrong. Senior sister, let go quickly. Don't touch any lower. Lu Jiangwei quickly stepped back, blushing, explaining to me it was all a misunderstanding, and said she definitely had no improper thoughts about me. I could only reply to her, don't blush. The atmosphere has become strange. Looking at the flustered Lu Jiangwei, I also felt helpless. Senior sister, in the future, this kind of rough work, let me, your junior brother, do it myself. Otherwise, if master sees it, he'll definitely scold us angrily. The order of the sect will be ruined. Lu Jiangwei verbally agreed, but her body dishonestly helped me clean up. 2 months later, at the Kongtong Pai training ground, master was explaining to me what is most important in martial arts. Some say it's internal skill, so they constantly consume various elixirs. Others say it's external skill, so they endlessly swing their fists. But what is truly powerful is the internal skill, and external skill in perfect harmony. A strong person's perfect unity will allow martial arts to exert their greatest power. And the foundation of all this is the horse stance. So you cannot slack off during training. Your posture must be standard, even if master didn't say it. I don't plan to slack off, because this is also to enhance my vitality, to strengthen my manhood. For future Yunyu Ji Lu, this hardship is sweet. Previously, when I was a eunuch without my manhood, even if I desperately practiced external skill, I couldn't escape the androgynous feeling. That was all because I practiced that damned secret manual, the Kuehua Baodian. Thinking of this made me even angrier, and I secretly vowed that in this life, I must live the life of a virile man. Just then, Lu Jiangwei suddenly came looking for me. Master said today's training is over, and asked me to pick you up. I also didn't realize it was already so late. But this is far from enough for me to transform myself as soon as possible. It seems I must think of other methods. I am the Grand Eunuch who held power over the entire court, and the one who controlled the nation's politics. But though omnipotent, the one thing I couldn't do was enjoy Yunyu Ji Lu. So, for this longing in my heart, I was reincarnated and reborn. And I even joined the future strongest sect, the Kongtong Pai. But I know well, to become a man like a king of vitality, basic training is far from enough. And to tirelessly revel in the yearned for Jiuqi Rulin, the most important thing is cardiorespiratory endurance. So, at night, I, alone, came to a quiet little forest. If master finds out I'm secretly training, he'll definitely scold me harshly. But for that longing in my heart, I recklessly started my late-night exercise. But I hadn't run far when I noticed a familiar figure. The person was Lu Jiangwei. The sudden turn of events startled me too, and I carelessly tripped and fell. Senior sister, what are you doing here? But what I got in return was a scolding from Lu Jiangwei. I saw you sneakily leaving Qingyunji, so I followed you. I didn't expect you to be secretly training. Master said, training beyond your body's limit will only harm yourself. I can't just watch you continue like this. This made me extremely annoyed. If I had even a year's worth of internal energy, perhaps I could have sensed senior sister's presence in advance through Qi. And now, if I can't shut her up, and she reports me to master, then this will surely be a major crisis for my vitality. So I had to lie and say I had my reasons for doing this, because I'm not as naturally gifted as senior sister. I'm just a fool who's slow to learn. I don't want to lose to anyone, nor do I want to be kicked out by master to wander the streets. If I don't train hard, let alone match senior sister, I won't even have the qualification to stand beside senior sister. So, senior sister, can you please not tell master about this? Under my emotional performance, Lu Jiangwei fell silent. reminded of her childhood experience of being abandoned. Because she had been regarded as a monster since childhood, until Master appeared and brought her hope. It made her understand. She too was a person standing under this sky. Just like that, she followed Master up Kong Tong Shan. Thinking this, she tightly hugged me. I'm sorry, junior brother. I didn't expect you to have such difficulties. But don't worry. Master definitely won't kick you out. Just because you learn slowly. Once you enter the Kong Tong Pai, no matter what you do, Master and I will always stand by your side. So, when you feel tired, you can rely on me like this. This scene made me feel terrible all over again. Do these words have to be said while hugging? No, my first hug should be for a peerless beauty. So I tried to break free. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't escape. Damn Lu Zhenghui. My innocence, preserved for decades, was taken by you just like that. But I quickly noticed something amiss. Why is his area so soft? Just then, Lu Zhenghui finally released me. Junior brother, are you feeling much better now? Looking at his sincere expression, I actually felt a few threads of pity in my heart. I never expected Lu Zhenghui, known as the Tianwu Ti, to actually have hermaphroditism. Although his area is soft, I am quite certain Lu Zhenghui is a man, because this was the result of an investigation by the Imperial Palace Intelligence Organization in my previous life. After some more time, Master told me my foundational constitution had been polished. Next, I can reduce basic training and start focusing on cultivating internal energy. Lu Zhenghui happily congratulated me, but I couldn't feel happy. Although learning internal energy is a good thing, Lu Zhenghui's harassment during this period was almost unbearable. Thinking of this, I helplessly shook my head. Forget it. There's a more important problem now than Lu Zhenghui. Then I told Master I didn't want to reduce basic training, because most people, after practicing external skill to the point of maintaining their physique, will focus their energy on internal energy, swordsmanship, and footwork. But I can't do that. On the surface, I explained that I was a mediocrity. Only by putting in more effort than others could I assist senior sister in rebuilding the sect. Although this is very inefficient, when encountering the same moves, the stronger party will have an advantage. But inwardly, I was actually thinking, only external skill can build a perfect physique that attracts women. Otherwise, with my current face, no matter how much I try to woo women, it won't change the fact that I'm not as good-looking as Lu Zhenghui. So, a perfect physique and lasting stamina are the keys to future Yunyu Ji Lu. Thinking this, I firmly requested of Master, please agree quickly. In an era where everyone revered internal energy cultivation methods, I, however, only wanted to focus on basic training. Master even thought I was foolish, but he didn't know. Only basic training can develop lasting stamina and a perfect physique, allowing one to tirelessly revel in the yearn for Jiuqi Rulin. Only because in my past life, I was a grand eunuch who remained a virgin for 50 years. So for that longing in my heart, in this life, I live only for Yunyu Ji Lu. Then, with a determined face, I requested of Master, please allow me to continue cultivating external skill. This made Master very surprised. Could Jishio already know his talent is very ordinary? Although his kind of thinking is the wrong answer for those famous and powerful sects, but for rebuilding the fallen Kong Tong Pai, it is the optimal solution. So, without a second word, he handed me a secret manual. Take it. This is the incantation for the internal energy Xiaoyang Xinfa. Although this martial world is ruthless to those without talent, but as long as you are willing to work hard, you will definitely become an extraordinary person. So I allow you to cultivate both internally and externally. Now I will impart the Xiaoyang Xinfa to you. Hearing this, I agreed with a joyful face. Soon, after all preparations were complete, Master began to transfer true qi to me, and also asked me to move the qi according to the incantation just now. At this moment, I can clearly feel a warm current gathering in my chest. This is a sensation I never experienced in my past life. It's not the bone-chilling cold of the Kuihua Baodian, but like a gentle sun flowing through my veins. Could this be Yang Qi? Then Master congratulated me on learning internal energy. Feeling the difference from my past life, I sighed inwardly. I'm finally no longer a eunuch. Night fell. Lu Zhenghui found Master and stated her intention. Master, I also want to increase my external skill training time. After all, as a senior sister, it is also my responsibility to personally guide my junior brother. Hearing this, a hint of joy appeared on Master's face. You finally know how to cultivate camaraderie now. Do as you think best. For you, these are all things you need to learn. After Lu Zhengwei left, Master gazed out the window alone, and couldn't help sighing. Zhengwei and Zhixiu are so young, yet they are working hard to revitalize the Kongtong Pai. This time, the former master's dying wish can finally be fulfilled. Meanwhile, at the foot of Kongtong Shan, many animals, bitten to death, inexplicably appeared. Soon, a giant three-eyed python slithered past the corpses. The next day, a family looked at their destroyed livestock, utterly bewildered. What on earth happened? These livestock were supposed to be sold at the market today. Now they're all gone. Saying this, he couldn't catch his breath, and fainted from anger. It turned out the old farmer had planned to sell the livestock and donate the money to the Kongtong Pai. Even though his family was very poor, he wanted to do everything he could to help the Kongtong Pai, because this had always been his dream. However, his grandson was very puzzled by his grandfather's actions. What's so great about that beggar's den, the Kongtong Pai? You're sick now. Why are you still thinking of doing that? With that, he ran out angrily. Grandpa didn't take his words to heart, because he hadn't seen the Kongtong Pai in its prime. That was the #1 sect in Gansu. For me back then, it was a place that planted hope and dreams in me. But since the demonic sect's invasion, that awe-inspiring Kongtong Pai was forgotten by people. Meanwhile, for my dream, I was also diligently cultivating, feeling the yang qi accumulating in my dantian. I secretly rejoiced. This feeling is simply wonderful. However, when using the Shaoyang Shinfa, I always felt something was a bit off. Could it be because I cultivated the Kuehua Baodian in my past life? Master once said, the emblem representing our sect is the reverse Taiji. This symbolizes the yin-yang reversal taught by our ancestors. It means still water above, leaving fire burning below. In summary, it's the reversal of yin and yang, creating ultimate life. This makes those ignorant people think our sect's martial arts are very similar to demonic arts that violate the laws of nature. Therefore, they look down on us. But the Kongtong Pai's long-standing principle is to uphold justice and eradicate demonic sects. Thinking of this, I couldn't help but feel fortunate to have joined the Kongtong Pai. Using demonic methods to defeat demons is the martial art of a true man. Just then, a sound suddenly interrupted my thoughts. The little boy cried out desperately. If this place truly is the Gansu #1 sect that values chivalry, please help us. Lu Zhengwei, hearing the sound, also came out of her room. After we met the little boy, he recounted everything that had happened. This made me very puzzled. Shouldn't you report it if your livestock were stolen? The little boy voiced his thoughts. I don't think it was done by a human. Even if it was theft, there's no need to destroy the livestock. Those livestock were Grandpa's painstaking efforts for many years. Grandpa planned to sell them to support the Kongtong Pai. But now, not only is his dream gone, he's also fallen ill from anger. So please, help us. Killed. With the perfect cooperation between me and Lu Zhengwei, the mutated three-eyed giant python was finally killed by us. As a result, due to the snake venom, my body was already starting to disobey my commands. After the little boy ran to Kongtong Shan seeking help, seeing his pitiful appearance, Lu Zhengwei and I finally agreed to go down with him and take a look first. But when I saw the scene of the destroyed livestock shed, I was utterly shocked. This looks like the trail of a snake, and it's a rare giant python. Then I asked Lu Zhengwei if she had heard of giant pythons existing on Kongtong Shan. Lu Zhengwei quickly denied it. If there were dangerous animals on Kongtong Shan, Master would have dealt with them promptly. This made me ponder again. Kongtong Shan is a Taoist holy land, regarded as a spiritual mountain. Because of the existence of spiritual energy, ordinary animals are very likely to undergo genetic mutations. Since Lu Zhengwei hadn't heard of it, it means this giant python just appeared recently. Thinking of this, I couldn't help but smile. If I eat such a large giant python, my vitality will definitely be greatly enhanced. So I unilaterally agreed to handle this matter. But Lu Zhengwei looked worried. Is it really okay to hide this from Master? I argue with Lee about the Kongtongshan residents seeking help. We can't refuse, can we? Especially since he's such a filial child. If it really was done by the giant python, before more losses occur, let's solve it together. Lu Zhengwei finally agreed after hearing my words. After sending the little boy home, Lu Zhengwei and I followed the tracks on the ground, tracking the giant python's whereabouts. But Lu Zhengwei was still worried about acting privately without Master's knowledge. I once again patiently persuaded her, "Senior sister, don't worry. We're doing a good deed." After comforting Lu Zhengwei, my powerful body suddenly shook, because the giant python's tracks disappeared here. Just then, Lu Zhengwei behind me suddenly shouted, at the top of her lungs, "Danger." The next second, the giant python attacked from above, biting me. Looking at such a huge giant python, I secretly rejoiced. If I survive this crisis, not only will my vitality be strengthened, perhaps I can also, like in my past life, find the Kongtong Pai's ultimate technique. Then, Lu Zhengwei rushed over to save me. But after one strike, she was completely stunned. Because the giant python's scales were too hard, this attack didn't cause it any harm at all. Instead, she was fiercely sent flying by its tail. Seeing that Lu Zhengwei was unreliable, I grabbed a piece of wood and stabbed it towards the giant python's eye. With a painful howl, I also took the opportunity to create some distance. Only then did I realize I had been poisoned by the snake. After Lu Zhengwei arrived, I quickly reminded her to be careful, because now we were being targeted by the enraged giant python. Stared at. Lu Zhengwei told me the giant python's body was very hard, and its attack speed was also very fast. We must find its weak point and kill it with one blow. Hearing this, I quickly thought of a countermeasure. The current Lu Zhengwei hasn't matured yet. She is no match for the giant python at all. I have the foundation of internal energy from my past life. Even if poisoned by the snake, I can still hold on for a while. But if Lu Zhengwei also gets poisoned by the snake, we'll die here today. So I must create an attacking opportunity for her. Thinking this, I directly took off my clothes and indicated to her, "Senior sister, I'll go attract its attention. You use the Shaoyang Xinfa to increase the sword's destructive power, then take the opportunity to finish it." Lu Zhengwei looked astonished. "You're injured. How can you?" Before she could finish, I lunged forward. Every creature has a weak point, let alone a horse with its right eye blinded. So, I used its right side blind spot to dodge back and forth, and soon wrapped my belt around its head. Seeing the opportunity, I quickly signaled Lu Zhengwei to act fast. The next second, Lu Zhengwei circulated her internal energy and advanced with her sword. With just one strike, she directly cut off the giant python's head. Lu Zhengwei never expected the neck to be the giant python's weak point. Could junior brother have known all along, and deliberately guided me to cut off its neck? But before she could think further, she found I had already collapsed weakly to the ground. At this moment, I only felt my whole body burning hot. It seems the rumors were true. The venom of the fanged snake has very strong yang qi. But this might not be a bad thing for me. As long as I use qi circulation to expel the poison gas and absorb the yang qi, perhaps my vitality will be further improved. But the next second, I sensed something was wrong. Why is my body not listening to my commands? He moved his mouth. That damned gay Lu Zhengwei finally made a move on me. After I collapsed to the ground, poisoned by the snake, my whole body was burning hot, and my consciousness began to blur. Lu Zhengwei, seeing this, immediately picked me up. Her eyes were teary, full of guilt. "It's all because of me that junior brother became like this. I must save him." Thinking this, she gently placed me on the ground, and then used her mouth to suck on my wound. I suddenly woke up, my eyes wide. Wait, my chastity. So I kept struggling and shouting. Lu Zhengwei thought my tongue was also poisoned, so she kindly sucked it again. This made me completely dumbfounded. "Lu Zhengwei, you damned gay." A moment later, we started roasting the delicious snake meat. But thinking of the scene just now, I couldn't help but feel nauseous. Just then, Lu Zhengwei, who was taking my pulse, told me my body no longer had snake venom. But what made her curious was how I thought of roasting the snake to eat, because she had never eaten such a thing before. I then told her that snake meat is a highly nourishing food. Not only highly nutritious but also replenishes vitality. After filling our stomachs, we followed the giant python's tracks again, and found its lair. A cave located halfway up the mountain. Zheng Wei told me she could feel a strong spiritual energy here. This made me secretly think her qi sense is very strong. In the past life, she probably found this place using this. Then, after Lu Zhengwei and I stepped into the cave together, she guessed if this could be the legendary Guangqing Duanshui. The so-called Guangqing Duanshui refers to the place where the ancestors of the Kongtong Pai cultivated. Legend has it that 300 years ago, the world's #1 person from the Kongtong Pai, Hunyuan Jian Di Wujizi, ascended to immortality in such a place. Hearing this, I couldn't help but lick my lips. Then there must be many elixirs here that don't require experience. Just then, Lu Zhengwei suddenly discovered a box of elixirs scattered on the ground. This made me certain the python just now must have eaten these elixirs, and after fully absorbing the spiritual energy, it turned into a giant python. Soon we reached the end of the cave. Looking at the magnificent architecture, I couldn't help but let out a sigh of admiration. At this moment, the secret manuals on the table caught Lu Zhengwei's attention. The Danin Zhanjuaqisha Jian, Xiantian Jian, Jianyang Ji, etc., were all long-lost secret manuals of the Kongtong Pai. This further confirmed Lu Zhengwei's thoughts. It seems this is where the ancient masters cultivated the legendary Guangqing Duanshui. Then, she happily shared this good news with me. Hearing this, I was also very excited. This means there must be many treasures hidden in the cave. Let's split up and search. After getting Lu Zhengwei's agreement, I immediately rushed forward. Can't waste any more time. I must find the elixirs before Lu Zhengwei does, because absorbing the elixirs one step earlier will give me the strength to protect my rear, and also bring me one step closer to my spring dream. Hard work pays off. I finally found an elixir. On the other side, Lu Zhengwei also found a hot spring. But just as she was about to investigate, my scream caught her attention. Lu Zhengwei thought I was in danger, and immediately rushed over. The scene before her eyes, however, left her completely shocked. This is Mitua Sheng Shui. It is formed by the gathering of extreme yin qi over 1,000 years. It is the world's most top-grade elixir. The extreme yin qi it contains is extremely harmful to a man's vitality, with no benefits whatsoever. At this, Lu Zhengwei came forward concerned. Junior brother, are you okay? I thought something serious had happened. But for me, this was almost a major tragedy. Because once a man's body accumulates yin qi, his physique will gradually transform into a woman's. If I absorbed the Mitua Sheng Shui, then all the effort I put into cultivating my manhood and vitality would have been in vain. Having escaped disaster, I couldn't help but shed tears of emotion. But it would be too wasteful not to use such a good elixir. So I calmed myself down and suggested to Lu Zhengwei, senior sister, such a large amount of Mitua Sheng Shui is enough to open a person's ren and do meridians. Why don't you consume this elixir? Lu Zhengwei immediately refused. Junior brother found this first. Junior brother should consume it. I continued to patiently explain. Using such a top-grade elixir on a good-for-nothing like me is simply too wasteful. If we share it, the elixir's effect will also be reduced. So, for the sake of revitalizing the Kongtong Pai, senior sister should consume it alone. Lu Zhengwei hesitated again but still disagreed. Because, junior brother, your aptitude is too poor. You need the elixir supplement even more. And I can reach a higher realm through cultivation. So, junior brother, you should consume the elixir later and stand with me. Hearing this, I was completely dumbfounded. This blockhead actually took my previous nonsense seriously. If that's the case, I can only resort to my trump card. Thinking this, I slowly took her hand. Senior sister, what if I, your younger brother, am begging you? I want to give the elixir to senior sister. I'm doing all this for you. Hearing this, Lu Zhengwei's face couldn't help but flush a shade of red, and she agreed without even thinking. As expected, she really is after my good looks. Then I told Lu Zhengwei, Mitua Sheng Shui is a yin attribute elixir, and one must use yin attribute internal energy to fully absorb it. Lu Jiangwei suddenly thought of the Sanin Junjue Xuanji she had just found. She then flipped through the secret manual and started reciting it. Seeing this, I couldn't help but think, she flips through books so fast, truly worthy of being a genius of the Tianwu GTI. Soon, after memorizing the incantation, she wrapped the cloth strips and prepared to consume it. Since this Mitua Shengshui was given to me by junior brother, then no matter what happens, I will not betray his kindness. But just as she drank the Mitua Shengshui, the sensation from within her body made her eyes widen instantly. This is an elixir that everyone dreams of, but it made me shudder, only because it contains extremely strong yin cold qi. Once a man absorbs it, he will gradually transform into a woman. This, for me, who wants to gallop through the Jirchi Rulin, is simply all harm and no benefit. So, I gave this Mitua Shengshui to Lu Jiangwei. But the moment she consumed it, the yin cold qi began to wreak havoc wildly within her body. Then her body began to tremble uncontrollably from the cold, and her heart felt as if it had frozen. Seeing this, I immediately felt something was wrong. Could Lu Jiangwei be unable to control the powerful yin qi of the holy water? As Lu Jiangwei's entire body was slowly covered by thin ice, the next second, she appeared in her own spiritual world. Then, childhood scenes began to play out before her eyes. Crows killed the swallow family, so she killed the crow. At this moment, the inner demon suddenly turned to look at Lu Jiangwei. Do you know why everyone is scolding me? Why do they all call me a monster? Before Lu Jiangwei could react, the next second, the inner demon, with a contorted face, attacked her. Meanwhile, I also sensed something was amiss. I originally wanted her to absorb the elixir and grow quickly, then rely on her fame to capture the hearts of beauties. But now it seems she is very likely being invaded by her own inner demon. Although I'm unwilling to have physical contact with her, I can't just watch this good stock turn into waste paper, right? So I began to transfer true qi to her. Senior sister, quickly absorb the yin qi of the Mitua Shengshui, then recite the Sanin Zhanjue, and guide the yin cold qi with the acupoint I told you about. If you don't pull yourself together, you'll really go into qi deviation. And at this moment, Lu Jiangwei also heard my shouts. Unfortunately, the demon was choking her, making her unable to move at all. Seeing Lu Jiangwei in increasing danger for my bright future, I couldn't let her become a cripple. Lu Jiangwei, count yourself lucky. Your junior brother was a top master in his past life. Thinking this, I infused her with another surge of strong internal energy. And at this moment, Lu Jiangwei was still struggling desperately to break free from the inner demon's control. Then she picked up a nearby stone, and, with all her might, smashed it towards the inner demon's head. After breaking free from control, the inner demon was also completely enraged. Before Lu Jiangwei could run far, it lunged forward, directly sending Lu Jiangwei flying several meters. Lu Jiangwei, having lost her combat ability, looked desperate. Am I going to die so worthlessly? Before she could finish, a voice suddenly echoed in her mind, Senior sister, don't give up. Then, a strong internal energy flowed into her body. Senior sister, you need to pull yourself together. Don't be defeated by the inner demon before you. The most important thing now is to absorb the elixir. I will help you expand your meridians. Although it will be very painful for me, as long as it can create an opportunity for you, everything is worth it. Hearing this, Lu Jiangwei also regained her spirits. Junior brother is helping me at such risk. I definitely cannot betray his kindness. Thinking this, she immediately got up and launched a counterattack. One punch directly sent the inner demon flying. Then she sat cross-legged and began to absorb the Mitua Shengshui. The inner demon sensed that she had used up all her internal energy to suppress the yin qi, which allowed it to awaken. So as long as her internal energy can be replenished, then defeating the inner demon will be very easy. But just then, the inner demon also recovered. Without a word, it rushed towards Lu Jiangwei. In the nick of time, I quickly transferred another surge of internal energy to her. The next second, dozens of wooden sticks firmly bound the inner demon. Soon, after Lu Jiangwei opened her Ren and Du meridians, the inner demon broke free from its restraints and rushed over again. She is the famous Jiansheng in the martial world, and also the dream lover of countless young girls. But what makes me curious is her chest. Why is it more prominent than an ordinary man's? Just as the inner demon charged through the wooden stakes and attacked Lu Zhengwei again. In the nick of time, she timely absorbed the Mitua Shengshui. With just a glance, she sent the inner demon into the abyss. Meanwhile, I also felt her aura gradually becoming stable. So, I signaled her to send the Yin cold chi into the Baihui acupoint. Because that way, she would be close to breaking through the Ren and Du meridians. Faced with my sincere concern, Lu Zhengwei fell into a trance for a moment. It seems junior brother has been like this from the beginning, always considering me. Not only did he give me the most important thing, he also saved me in a critical moment. Thank you for taking such good care of me. I will never forget this kindness. Even if the whole world turns against you, I will firmly stand by your side. A moment later, Lu Zhengwei finally successfully broke through the Ren and Du meridians. At the same time, her external body also entered a state of self-forgetfulness. But what made me curious was her chest. Why is it more prominent than an ordinary man's? Could it be because of the Mitua Shengshui? Thinking of this, I suddenly realized. No wonder the Lu Zhengwei of my past life didn't even look at women. It turns out her physical condition caused her a lot of trouble. Just then, a cluster of plants emitting a red glow suddenly caught my attention. When I approached, I discovered it was actually Hongyangtai, which can replenish vitality. Seeing this, I happily did a few sets of Taigang exercises, then began to eat it in large mouthfuls. Now is the perfect time to use this opportunity to practice. Originally, the elixir's essence should be placed in the dantian and converted into internal energy. But this time, I want to spread the power of Hongyangtai throughout my entire body. Because only by strengthening the body can vitality be improved. Although Hongyangtai is not as potent as Mitua Shengshui, gaining a body impervious to all diseases is also a good thing. But after I finished cultivating, I found that Lu Zhengwei had disappeared. Did she go to bathe? Since this is Wujizi's secret cave, there must be something like a bathhouse, right? Then I'll go bathe with her too. But what I didn't expect was Lu Zhengwei, a grown man, was actually very resistant to this. In response, I could only agree to wait for her outside. This made Lu Zhengwei breathe a sigh of relief. I was almost discovered by junior brother to be a woman. Master once said, in the martial world, only men will not be looked down upon, and will also encounter fewer troubles. Although it was very dangerous just now, fortunately, I absorbed the Mitua Shengshui. If it weren't for junior brother, I would definitely have become a cripple. Why is such a kind person just my junior brother? Thinking of this, her face couldn't help but flush. And in her heart, the thought arose that even if she didn't encounter difficulties, she wanted to take care of junior brother for a lifetime. Lu Zhengwei, coming to her senses, looked surprised. What am I thinking? My feelings for junior brother should only be the friendship between martial brothers and sisters. That's right. Because whether it's rebuilding the sect or standing by junior brother's side, these are things that cannot be done with a weak woman's body. I must be a man. Meanwhile, I, waiting outside, was deeply shocked by the cave's scenery. The luminous pearls embedded everywhere sufficiently demonstrated the wealth of the Kongtong Pai at that time. But for the sect founded by the then world's #1, Hunyuan Jian Di Wujizi, who would have thought it would become so dilapidated today? 50 years ago, after the Kongtong Pai suffered a massacre, only one person survived. He was Tianli Jianling Baixian. Because the glory of the Kongtong Pai was no more, and all the advanced secret manuals were burned, he only took one disciple in his entire life. That child is now the leader of the Kongtong Pai, Fumo Jinka, Kuaning. Although this nickname sounds cool, everyone in the martial world knows it's a mockery, because this was given to him by the evil sects that wanted to swallow the Kongtong Pai, specifically to mock the loss of the Fumo Jianfa. The sound of chanting. Fortunately, this time we found the secret manuals in the cave, which is a great harvest. Wujizi, although he didn't create this cave with foresight, but for the current Kongtong Pai, it's like gold falling from the sky. At that time, Wujizi, in order to live in seclusion, erased all rumors about the cave. That's why the demonic sect didn't find this place. This made me very confused. Wujizi, why would he erase a secret cave, like a holy land, from history? You know, before the demonic sect's invasion. The Kongtong Pai was the #1 sect in Gansu. Wujizi also couldn't have predicted the decline of the Kongtong Pai. Was it merely for seclusion? But there's one more thing that makes me even more curious. The Lu Zhengwei of my past life. How did she find this place? It's over, it's over. My first time is gone, gone, gone again. But the good news is, Lu Zhengwei and I finally deciphered the Fumo Jianfa. Just as I was puzzled about how Lu Zhengwei from my past life found the secret cave, she happened to emerge from the bath. Junior brother. Are you going to bathe too? Seeing this, I was completely stunned. My face couldn't help but blush. Could it be because of the Mitua Shengshui? Her face seems even more beautiful than usual. Thinking of this, I directly punched myself. What am I thinking? She's a grown woman. But speaking of which, Lu Zhengwei is indeed getting more and more handsome. And there's a faint floral fragrance on her. Should I also carry a sachet? And pay attention to my image? But I quickly dismissed my thoughts. Forget it, forget it. No matter how well I dress up. This ugly face is already an indisputable fact. After I finished bathing, Lu Zhengwei was organizing the martial arts manuals she found. Currently, the Kongtong Pai only has the Shaoyang Xinfa. But here, we not only found the Sanin Zhenjue, but also all the Neijia Qigong. When Shaoyang Xinfa and Sanin Zhenjue are cultivated to the highest level, one can learn the even more powerful Hunyuan Iqigong. But what puzzled me was, I couldn't find Hunyuan Iqigong here, nor the Fumo Jianfa. According to intelligence from the Dongchang in my past life, Lu Zhengwei obtained the Fumo Jianfa here. But intelligence from the palace would never be wrong. This means, Wujizi definitely left the sword technique manual in some other way. Then, Wujizi, who had reached the realm of life and death, in what way would he leave the sword technique? Just then, Lu Zhengwei suddenly thought of something. Right before, in the cave next to the bath, I found a huge sword mark. Hearing this, I quickly signaled Lu Zhengwei to lead the way and take a look. When we reached the destination, the sight that met my eyes made me exclaim in admiration. This is simply too magnificent. Senior sister, it seems there's something sealed behind this wall. This wall should be a mechanism from 300 years ago. If too much or too little force is used when opening it, this mechanism will completely seal off the entire cave. So, if you can't perform the Fumo Jianfa, you can't open this stone wall. But luckily, I know a bit of the Fumo Jianfa incantation. It turned out that in my past life, the imperial family, to balance the martial world, collected the ultimate techniques of various sects, and developed ways to counter them. Although I haven't mastered all the true ultimate techniques, but because the Kongtong Pai Fumo Jianfa is very famous, I learned a little. So I recognized at a glance. These sword marks were the Fumo Jianfa left by Wujizi. Thinking of this, I couldn't help but smile. Behind this stone wall, there must be something good left by Wujizi. Then I began to explore this cave continuously, because all martial arts have footwork, and everything in this cave was a hint given by Wujizi. Soon I discovered sword marks on the ground. So, I followed the sword marks to find the place where the technique was performed. Finally, I found a stone wall covered by vines. When I struck it with my sword, dozens of sword marks suddenly appeared before our eyes, because Wujizi left the Fumo Jianfa on the stone wall too profoundly. Lu Zhengwei and I spent 2 days to decipher it. During this period, Lu Zhengwei was the first to notice the lightning-shaped marks on the stone wall, which was the Fumo Jianfa starting from another stone wall. And to repair the sword technique, we racked our brains and consulted all the secret manuals of the Kongtong Pai. Then, combined with my memories, we finally obtained the correct incantation. Next is to teach her the cultivation of the sword technique. I never thought my first intimate contact in this life would be with a grown woman. Damn Lu Zhengwei. How many of my firsts will you take? Just like that, with our unremitting efforts, Lu Zhengwei finally learned the Fumo Jianfa. But Lu Zhengwei looked at the stone wall with a doubtful expression. Now, just use the Fumo Jianfa on the stone wall, right? Is that really okay? Master once said, if one doesn't know Hunyuan Iqigong, one cannot perform the perfect Fumo Jianfa. I immediately affirmed it, because the sword marks on the stone wall were originally prepared for those whose sword technique reached the pinnacle. If senior sister, you weren't a Tianwu Ti, we wouldn't even be able to repair the Fumo Jianfa. Lu Zhengwei asked. Is there no other way to open the stone wall? I then signaled her not to worry. Even if it's a mechanism, it's still something from 300 years ago. As long as you can utilize Qi sense well and coordinate with the Fumo Jianfa, even if you haven't reached the pinnacle level, you can still cleave it open with one strike. Opened. Wujizi's secret vault was finally opened by us. But what shocked me was, Wang Sanjing, who cut off my manhood, appeared before me again. After Lu Zhengwei learned the Fumo Jianfa, she questioned whether she could open the stone wall. Because master once said, if one doesn't know Hunyuan Iqigong, one cannot perform the perfect Fumo Jianfa. I then signaled her not to worry, because I had already thought of a way to break the impasse. After all, I was once the leader of an intelligence organization, and my skill in using Qi sense to disarm mechanisms was among the best in the world. Originally, the sharp edge of the Fumo Jianfa was needed to unlock the seal. But because this is a very old technique, so apart from the core mechanism, other mechanisms simply cannot distinguish between sword Qi and Qi sense. As long as this point is utilized well, even if one hasn't reached the pinnacle level of Fumo Jianfa, one can still easily open the stone wall. Soon, after some manipulation from me, I nodded to Lu Zhengwei, signaling success. Lu Zhengwei immediately understood, and then began to prepare for performing the Fumo Jianfa. Preparation. Seeing this, I couldn't help but smile. Lu Zhengwei, unleash your talents to the fullest. Your life this time will be different from your past life. Saying this, Lu Zhengwei began to take steps. Then, while lunging forward, a torrent of sword Qi also descended. The next second, the narrow stone wall slowly opened. Lu Zhengwei excitedly grabbed my hands to celebrate. Junior brother, you're amazing. Thank you so much. You even helped me learn the Kongtong Pai's ultimate sect guarding technique. I then reminded her not to get too happy too soon. Let's go confirm what Wujizi left behind. But upon stepping into the stone wall, I unknowingly lost consciousness. When I woke up again, I found my hands were already firmly bound by iron chains. Firmly. And the two people in front of me also seemed to be muttering something. Before I could react, the man who cut off my manhood in my past life turned his head and began to inject me. Seeing this, my expression tensed. It's actually Wang San and the Imperial Palace intermediary, Zhang Xian. This immediately gave me the answer. It turns out I fell under an illusion after entering the stone wall. Damn Hunyuan Jian Di Wujizi. To actually show me this disgusting illusion, I will definitely make you pay the price. Just then, Wang San walked over with a sinister smile. Little fellow, you should be thanking me. After all, living in the palace is better than starving to death outside, right? And maybe you'll even become a powerful eunuch who controls everything. Quan. At that time, don't forget the great kindness of me and Zhang Xian. Hearing this, I was instantly furious. He's right. In my past life, I was indeed second only to one person. Above tens of thousands. But what good is power and influence if, in the end, I'm still a dead eunuch who can't even stand up? Eunuch thought. A blinding light burst from my body. Although after rebirth, my body lost all its charm. This result of time reversal is also quite normal. However, my spiritual power did not disappear. Relying on this, I easily broke free from the restraints. Before the two could react, they were instantly frozen by me. If all this is happening in my spiritual world, then my martial arts will definitely not disappear. Xuanji, with a flick of my finger. The next second, several ice spikes directly pierced them into ice fragments. Although I don't know what happened to Zhang Sen, Wang San was already personally dealt with by me. How could such a crude illusion deceive me? But just as I was lost in thought, the scene of the illusion quietly changed. At this moment, a slender, jade-like hand suddenly reached out from behind me. When I reacted, I found I was already in the Jiuqi Rulin I yearned for. Husband, you're amazing. Calm down. Come and hug me. This made me both happy and annoyed. Truly painstaking to lead my mind astray. They actually tailor-made this illusion. But I am not a casual man. Unless it's the Yunyuji Lu of mutual affection. So no matter how beautiful the woman in the illusion is, it's useless to me. Thinking this, I directly shattered the illusion with a punch. But the scene that followed exceeded my expectations. I saw a man, emitting a powerful internal energy, walking towards me. Before I could ask his name, the next second, the man attacked me first. Looking at such an overwhelming aura, I immediately had the answer. That's right. This person is the one who, 300 years ago, blocked the demonic sect's attack and saved the martial world, the strongest master of the Kongtong Pai, the world's #1, Hunyuan Jiandi Wujizi. While dodging, I explained, I am not an enemy. But Wujizi thought I was lying, because he had already seen that my spiritual level was that of a top master, but my movement technique didn't even reach third rate, and my soul was filled with heaven-defying power. How can you prove you are not a spy from the demonic sect? At this moment, I was too weak to fight. Seeing the sharp sword chi attack again, in the nick of time, I suddenly turned around and activated the Shaoyang Xinfa. Bowing to him, Kongtong Pai sect guarding disciple Li Zheshio pays respects to ancestor. Seeing this, Wujizi was completely shocked. Then he forcefully changed the direction of the sword chi's attack. After a moment of silence, Wujizi sheathed his weapon and laughed heartily. You, disciple's grandson, are very clever. Since you can use the Shaoyang Xinfa, it seems you are definitely a disciple of the Kongtong Pai. With that, he helped me up with one hand. The test ends here. I am Hunyuan Jiandi Wujizi's consciousness, lingering from 300 years ago. This is the first time I've encountered someone like you, who possesses both heaven-defying techniques and the Tao of Immortals. I stood up and retorted, is there a problem with that? Even if I used heaven-defying techniques, am I not still a disciple of the Kongtong Pai? Wujizi ignored me and muttered to himself, to use evil to fight evil, could this be the will of heaven? That's right, to deal with heaven-defying techniques, one must learn to use heaven-defying techniques. This left me completely confused. What, use evil to fight evil? Heaven-defying techniques? I just hope to regrow my manhood and enjoy Yunyu Ji Lu, that's all. But to achieve this goal, I still need to confirm one thing. So I asked Wujizi, Huiyuan Jiandi, is the legacy you left behind the stone wall martial arts? Wujizi also didn't expect me to be so direct. What if I say yes? Hearing this, I quickly bowed. Then please, do not impart the martial arts to me. Can you impart them to the senior sister who came with me? Because I only want to be second in command and live a life of luxury. As long as I master the Kongtong Pai secret manuals found this time, I'll be content. The great responsibility of revitalizing the Kongtong Pai should be given to Lu Jiangwei. As long as she can get the guidance of Hunyuan Jiandi, she will definitely obtain a terrifying power. Hearing this, Wujizi shook his head and smiled wryly. You're so foolish. Don't you understand yet? You were destined to come here. Because in the future, a heaven-defying evil star will surely descend again. I still couldn't understand what he meant. Huiyuan Jiandi was the great hero who stopped the demonic sect's invasion 300 years ago. He should have dealt with all the demonic cultists at that time. But what he's saying now, does it mean the demonic sect will make a comeback? It's over, it's over. The Yunyu Ji Lu I long for has 2 more unknown hidden dangers. So, in order not to let my desires shatter, I accepted the sword, Emperor's martial arts impartation without hesitation. Just when Wujizi told me that a heaven-defying evil star would surely descend in the future, I was completely baffled. Hunyuan Jiandi was the great hero who stopped the Xuejiao's invasion. He should have dealt with all the cultists at that time. But what he's saying now, does it mean the Xuejiao will make a comeback? Xuejiao is formed by the Tian Mashengio extremist forces, a third-party radical organization. 300 years ago, the leader of Xuejiao, Xuezuan, led his followers to carry out indiscriminate slaughter during the chaotic period. It is rumored that not only did blood flow like rivers, but even the Yuan dynasty emperor who ruled the Central Plains fled in panic. After Xuejiao occupied the masterless Central Plains, Huiyuan Jiandi, Wujizi led the Wulin Meng to engage in a life-and-death struggle with Xuejiao at Poyanghu. In the end, Wulin Meng won. After the tragic Poyanghu battle, the Ming dynasty was also established. The martial world also received from the imperial family the privilege of Guanwubukan. This is also the imperial family's acknowledgement that Wulin Meng defeated Xuejiao. At this time, Wujizi responded that he could not reveal any more heavenly secrets. At this, I was extremely resentful. Damn it. It seems this situation is more serious than I imagined. In my past life, Shuejiao made no moves. But in this life, my life's trajectory is already completely different. If Shuejiao and the demonic sect both invade the central plains at the same time. Thinking of this, I clenched my teeth. I originally planned to let Lu Zhengwei maintain peace in the central plains, while I lived a comfortable life. But now there are two more unknown hidden dangers. Once war breaks out, regardless of men, women, old, or young, everyone will be filled with unease and worry about the future. Introducing my loving wives. If they become exhausted from the war, and eventually die regretting it, who would be responsible for that? At this thought, I trembled with anger. I absolutely do not want this future. Nor do I want such worries in Jiochi Rulin. Even more, I cannot allow any unease or sadness in my utopia. Thinking about it, my thoughts also changed. Since Jiendi chose me, there must be a reason. Anyway, it ultimately makes me stronger. So there's no need to hesitate. So, this opportunity can only be mine. But this doesn't mean I want to replace senior sister and become the protagonist in revitalizing the sect. I simply want to add another layer of security to my future wonderful life. Just then, Wujizi suddenly spoke. Are you ready to receive guidance? I looked puzzled. What other preparations are there? I am a disciple of the Kongtong Pai. I should already be qualified, right? Wujizi immediately exposed my inner thoughts. The fellow thinking about Jiochi Rulin in the illusion is quite eloquent. You aren't planning to use our sect's ultimate technique for that kind of vulgar pleasure, are you? This made cold sweat bead on my forehead. After a moment of silence, I explained seriously to Wujizi. My purpose is not base. Yunyu Ji Lu is a natural principle of the world. Besides, I am not the kind of person you imagine. The fact that I wasn't deluded by the illusion, isn't that the best proof? I only want to live a happy and joyful life with the women I like. How can you compare me to those evil heretics? After hearing this, Wujizi couldn't help but feel a headache. There's actually such a strange philosophy. What do those women who like you think? They will feel pain due to jealousy. Hearing this, I confidently assured, I will not do things I cannot handle. So, what you're talking about will definitely not happen. Seeing my determined expression, Wujizi could only laugh helplessly. I admit your ambition is not bad. After all, people who can fight against heaven-defying forces should be a bit crazy. Then, Wujizi prepared to impart martial arts to me and told me to abandon the mental state I had accumulated before and devote myself to martial arts. I couldn't ask for more. This kind of eunuch martial arts, it doesn't matter even if I can't use it. If possible, I wish this kind of martial art would be eradicated from the world. Wujizi immediately praised my strong awareness. Then, he imparted to me the pride of Kongtong Pai martial arts, Hunyuan Wujideo. As long as yin and yang are passed to the temple and performed on the great universe, then, by cultivating Shinggong to the highest level, one can comprehend Hunyuan Wujideo. Finally, he didn't forget to remind me. A disciple who possesses both heaven-defying power and the Tao of immortals must diligently cultivate Shinggong. Just then, I suddenly opened my eyes. After seeing Lu Zhengwei lying beside me, I quickly woke her up. Lu Zhengwei told me she just saw the Kongtong Pai destroyed, but explaining it to her was the illusion left by Jiendi. Before Lu Zhengwei could come to her senses, I suddenly discovered a mysterious box placed not far away. Presumably, that is the Shinggong left by Jiendi. But just then, rubble began to fall continuously from above. I immediately realized this was because the sword, Emperor's power maintaining this place had disappeared. Seeing the cave about to collapse, I hurriedly ran to the treasure chest and took out the Gong. Then, I ran with Lu Zhengwei towards the exit. Go. After successfully escaping danger, Lu Zhengwei and I both let out a sigh of relief. Although the secret cave was completely destroyed, fortunately, we brought out the lost martial arts. At this time, Lu Zhengwei signaled that it was time to go back. I readily agreed. But before going back, I still had to go to one more place. The unique ultimate technique of the Kongtong Pai has finally been recovered. The stunningly beautiful junior sister is also about to make her grand entrance. At this moment, The little boy stood there blankly, holding his luggage, a trace of worry on his face. It turned out that ever since he went to the Kong Tong Pai for help, he hadn't heard any news from me or Lu Jiangwei. Thinking of this, he shed tears of self-blame. It's all my fault. If because of me, something happened to the two elder brothers, what should I do? At this, his mother's scolding voice came. Grandpa is not feeling well. Are you going to cause trouble for me too? And Grandpa's words also showed some reluctance. Are we really leaving this place? Mother nodded, saying the family was already poor enough. Now even their only source of income, Zhuxi, is gone. We have to go to a place where we can support ourselves. Just then, I arrived with Lu Jiangwei. We are disciples of the Kong Tong Pai. My name is Li Zhixiu, and this is my senior sister, Lu Jiangwei. Previously, your son asked us to catch the bad guys who destroyed the Zhuxi. We've already resolved this matter. Hearing this, the mother was surprised. You mean, our family, for what reason? And the little boy was even more excited after seeing us. The next second, he shouted brother, and ran towards us crying. I first told the little boy that what destroyed their family's Zhuxi was a giant python that had turned into a monster. Then I expressed my gratitude to him. Thanks to your report, more losses were avoided. Saying this, I fumbled in my bag. This is the Niden from the giant python. As long as your grandpa eats it, soon, he will recover his health. After bidding farewell to the little boy and his family, Lu Jiangwei stared into the distance, lost in thought. If we were a bit stronger, could we repay those who support the Kong Tong Pai even more? Just then, I suddenly spoke, interrupting her thoughts. We need to hurry back to the sect. On the way back, I thought a lot. Although this time, through the little boy and the giant python, I gained a fortuitous encounter. It also burdened me with a huge mission. In my past life, Lu Jiangwei did not obtain the Fumo Shengong, and Fumo Shengong did not appear in the world. However, the secret cave still collapsed. This means, in my past life, someone also found the secret cave like us. What if that person was a descendant of Xuejiao? What if they destroyed the secret cave to prevent repeating the same mistakes? What if, in their previous lives, they evaded the Dongcheng and Xichong's intelligence network, hiding in a remote place, plotting conspiracies? So, unseen threats are always at work. I need to be more careful in the future. A moment later, Lu Jiangwei and I finally reached the foot of the sect's mountain. Although gaining a fortuitous encounter made me very happy. But how should we explain to Master our unauthorized departure? Just then, Master's voice suddenly came from behind. After confirming it was me and Lu Jiangwei, his face suddenly changed drastically. The next second, he directly gave us both a piao piao quan. Do you know I've been looking for you? What exactly happened? Tell me everything now, one by one. After learning the whole story, Master asked me again if the situation was true. I nodded, eagerly affirming it, and took out the luminous pearl obtained from the secret cave. Looking at the recovered secret manuals, Master shed tears of joy. Am I dreaming? The ancestors wished to revive the sect. There's finally hope. Thinking of this, Master suddenly closed the book box. Although, you did indeed make a mistake by leaving without permission, but you also accomplished the meritorious deed of finding our sect's ultimate techniques. So, I won't pursue your wrongdoing this time. With that said, he pulled me and Lu Jiangwei into an embrace. A moment later, Master also finally finished transcribing the Fumo Jinfa. Xuanji then set his sights on that priceless luminous pearl. With it, we'll never have to go hungry again. Just then, I suddenly spoke. Shengong and the luminous pearl. It's best not to let outsiders know. Master looked puzzled. Shengong is easy to say, but the sect is in need of money right now. So we have to sell the luminous pearl. But my suggestion. Actually, after hearing Han Yuan Jiandi's words about the heaven-defying evil star, I began to think. Although Jiandi didn't specifically mention things like defying heaven's will, but no matter who the other party is, he definitely represents Xuejiao. Because in my past life, the state had completely annihilated them. As an intelligence department, I also didn't have much information about Xuejiao. But what they didn't know was, the Zhuanshan Dafa I activated in my past life was precisely from an ancient secret art of Xuejiao. They often disguised themselves as doctors to make a living. Actually, for me, the most important thing is to get my manhood back. So, the darkness of the Jianghu Wulin. I didn't interfere too much. But this life is different. I still haven't held hands with a peerless beauty. Nor have I enjoyed Yunyu Ji Lu. Announcing the recovery of Fumo Shingong under these circumstances is a foolish act. Because we don't know when their demonic claws will reach out. So, to deal with these masterminds behind the scenes, we also must quietly cultivate our strength. So I explained to Master. Now is the first step in rebuilding the sect. Moreover, Yimingzu is also a rare treasure. If we don't have the strength to protect ourselves, once targeted by others, it might bring disaster to the sect. Master listened, and also agreed with my statement. I heard that recently the underworld gang, Xianhui, has been very arrogant. It seems we cannot act rashly. Then, after locking up the secret treasure, Master looked at us with a faint smile. Today is a day worth celebrating. Let's go to Kongtong Kajan for a meal together. Hearing this, I first chuckled. Then my eyes filled with anticipation. Because that place is precisely where the Bai Dao Di Hua appeared. Soon, under Master's lead, we arrived at Huiding County, located at the foot of the sect's mountain. Seeing the desolate scene here, I looked puzzled. Is there really a place to eat out here? Master then said. Previously, there were many inns here that received visitors to the Kongtong Pai. But with the decline of the Kongtong Pai, the business district here is also not as good as before. Especially after being occupied by the Xianhui, the atmosphere on the streets has become even more dangerous. But the only fortunate thing is, the last shop in Aiding County, Kongtong Kajan, is still in business. Then, after arriving at Kongtong Kajan, I couldn't restrain myself from expressing my inner joy. Eating out with people from our sect for the first time. There's nothing more meaningful than coming to Kongtong Kajan. But after stepping into Kongtong Kajan, compared to the desolation outside, this place presented a lively scene. At this moment, the innkeeper, Su Guanyuan, quickly stepped forward and bowed. Sect leader, long time no see. After some pleasantries, he shifted his gaze to me. Master introduced him. This is our sect's newly recruited disciple, Li Zheshio. He also told me Su Guangyuan had provided great help to the finances of the Kongtong Pai. Hearing this, I quickly bowed in thanks. Su Guanyuan responded with slight excitement. With such a polite and remarkably charismatic disciple entering Kongtong, I believe the prestige of the Kongtong Pai will surely resonate throughout the entire martial world again soon. This left me stunned. Just a greeting. His reaction is too exaggerated. But when I looked around, I found that all the customers here seemed to be very happy about me joining the Kongtong Pai. On the contrary, Su Guanyuan, seeing this, looked unfazed. Little brother, did I scare you? But you don't have to worry. Speaking of this, a trace of pride appeared on his face. These are all people who hope the Kongtong Pai can be revitalized. And the purpose is to eradicate that evil sect that oppresses the common people. Xianhui. Speaking of this, a man suddenly came to Master with a cloth bag. It's an honor to meet you. I hope this money can help with the reconstruction of the Kongtong Pai. Master immediately expressed his thanks and assured everyone his two disciples would definitely revitalize Kongtong Pai. Then, Master then asked Su Guanyuan why he hadn't seen his daughter. I want to introduce him to Zheshio. Su Guanyuan replied, Xiao Lin went to deliver something. She should be back soon. Hearing this, my heart skipped a beat. Then I kept looking around. The innkeeper's only daughter, Su Xiaoling, known as the Bai Dao Di Hua, is finally going to appear. In my previous life, it was Lu Zhengwei and Su Xiaoling who rebuilt the Kongtong Pai. Two people. If Lu Zhengwei was the vanguard of the Kongtong Pai, then Su Xiaoling was the sect's great steward. A truly perfect person in every sense. She possessed the unique beauty of a mixed blood, not only earning her the title of Bai Dao Di Hua in the martial world, but also, due to her cold personality and formidable strength, she was also hailed by people as Linghuan Jianji. Even more so, a fan club was specially established for her, and their greatest desire was to die by her sword. Thinking of this, I couldn't stop my lips from curving upwards. Me, Li Zheshio. How could I let such a beauty slip away? Quickly, let me behold that city-toppling beauty. As the door slowly opened, the first thing that met my eyes was a lock of hair as smooth as silk. This instantly filled me with anticipation. The next second, what appeared before my eyes was actually a petite and cute little girl. Seeing this, I was shocked. What the? The Bai Dao Di Hua is actually still a child? But I quickly came to my senses. This is the past, 50 years ago. She should be a younger sister, even younger than me. Although she's a beautiful young girl. But looking at this girl, it actually reminded me of the emperor back then. And it instantly extinguished my thoughts of conquering her. Just then, Su Guangyuan suddenly patted his daughter's head and introduced. These are the sect leader and disciples of the Kong Tong Pai. Quickly greet them. Su Xiaoling reluctantly said, hello. Hearing this, I first chuckled. Then I was captivated by her adorable appearance. Utterly smitten. Looks like I have to retract my previous thoughts. So what if she's a little sister? She's the future #1 beauty. To become her good big brother, I must accumulate goodwill from the very beginning. So, I quickly put on a righteous and awe-inspiring expression. I am Li Zhixiu, a newly initiated disciple of the Kong Tong Pai. It is an honor to meet Miss Su. But what I got in return was a pair of hostile eyes. Then she ran into the room without saying another word. Even a commoner. A cowardly sect that can't even protect its own people. What's there to know? Whether it's the Kong Tong Pai or the entire martial world. It's truly disgusting. I just simply circulated Yonggang Qigong. And my manhood stood up uncontrollably. But what embarrassed me even more was, every time this happened, someone would always knock on my door. After Su Xiaoling angrily ran back to her room, Su Guangyuan immediately apologized. Please, everyone, forgive her. My daughter might be a little shy. However, her actions didn't surprise me. Because according to intelligence from my past life, during a fight between evil sects, her mother was unfortunately involved and died. And as the only righteous sect here, the Kong Tong Pai failed to provide any help. So, it's very normal for her to harbor resentment. Then, after a hearty meal, Su Xiaoling appeared in my sight again. Although the outcome of this trip wasn't perfect, at least I met the legendary Bai Dao Di Hua, so it wasn't a wasted trip. Just then, Lu Zhengwei suddenly leaned close to my ear and whispered, Junior brother, did you enjoy today's meal out? Seeing this, I was suddenly startled, and then quickly pulled away. I liked it. I liked it very much. Hearing this, Lu Zhengwei also smiled happily. Seeing this scene, my face darkened. How did this fellow's face become more and more good-looking? After Xiao Lin enters the Kong Tong Pai in the future, what if she falls in love with her? Thinking of this, I immediately felt terrible. The position of #1 Appa absolutely cannot be snatched away by her. So I immediately suggested to Master, can we go out to eat regularly in the future? Master, looking unconcerned, do you like the food here? I then told Master, although the food here is delicious, I didn't expect Kong Tong Kajan to have contributed so much to the sect's reconstruction. So as soon as I saw them, I was motivated to work hard. Hearing this, Master, with a gratified expression, agreed to my request. But what he didn't know was, my heart had already made a plan. Compared to the senior sister who ranks first in appearance, establishing a good relationship with Su Xiaoling first is the most important. When night fell, I began to prepare for the next time I would see Su Xiaoling. Made preparations. After Taigang Yundong and Oka Yundong have been practiced to a certain extent, next is the essential exercise to strengthen vitality. That is the Xian Gua Yundong, which relies on the strength of the manhood to support heavy objects. Gua Yundong. Since such great results were achieved from the secret cave, my manhood, of course, has to become stronger. Thinking of this, I first took a deep breath, then began to swing wildly. After day, year after year of continuous honing, the suspended object also slowly changed from the initial small stone to a large stone brick. A year later, I looked proudly at the results of my training. Perfect, perfect. This is the true top-tier experience. But just as I was about to circulate Yonggang Qigong, the reaction of my manhood scared me. Damn it, side effects appeared again. It turned out that after encountering Hunyuan Jiendi in the secret cave, my internal energy developed a problem. That is, as long as I use Yonggang Qigong, I will instinctively stand up. And to this day, I still haven't figured out the reason. If I stand up frequently, I will definitely be regarded as a pervert. Just then, Lu Jiangwei's shout suddenly came from outside the door. This made me instantly furious. Why is there always someone to disturb me at times like this? So I had to open the door. In an extremely awkward posture. Senior sister, what's the matter? Lu Jiangwei looked puzzled. Junior brother. Are you not feeling well somewhere? After receiving my denial, Lu Jiangwei shyly told me the news that she wanted to go out to eat with me. With that, she turned and walked away without looking back. Seeing this, I felt a wave of relief. Thank goodness my manhood wasn't discovered. But senior sister seems to have changed a bit. Is it because she wants to see Su Xiaoling sooner? The scene changes. Su Xiaoling placed the tea on our table. But before I could thank her, she ran off without saying a word. Seeing this, I smiled faintly. Because compared to the intimacy when we first met, her attitude this time was clearly much better. But what I found strange was, the inn, which was usually bustling with activity, didn't have a single customer this time. Just then, Su Guanyuan came forward to greet us. Young masters, long time no see. Still the same items as last time? I immediately agreed eagerly. But just as he turned to leave, his body suddenly went limp and he almost fell. Seeing this, I quickly supported him and asked him if something had happened to the inn. This time, Su Guanyuan also decided not to hide it from us anymore. Kongtong Kajan might have to close down. Because those bastards from Xianhui, they often charge merchants in Huading County high protection fees to expand their influence. But a few months ago, they started targeting Kongtong Kajan. Not only did they deliberately create conflicts at the inn's entrance, affecting business, they also intimidated merchants from doing business with the inn. Even if I want to persevere, but without business, the losses are increasing. Now there's really no way out. I'm afraid if this continues, even Xiaolin will be affected. Hearing this, I seemed to understand something. It turned out that Su Xiaoling, who hated the Warren, joined the Kongtong Pai because her father couldn't stand the harassment from Xianhui. Although Xianhui is just a gangster organization, the power behind them is the Sichuan Dahibang, Hailong Bang. And the already declining Kongtong Pai is no match for them at all. I think Lord Su must be very upset right now, being caught in the conflict of interests among the Warren, and unable to make any choices. Just then, the inn's main door was suddenly kicked open. When we looked at the sound, we saw several members of the Xianhui gang, looking at me with sinister smiles. Didn't you say that if you can't pay today, you'd hand over the inn to us? I've warned you many times. Haven't you sobered up yet? If you don't have money, just sell your daughter. Saying this, one person directly took control of Su Xiaoling. I didn't expect the mother to be like a ghost, but the daughter is so beautiful. Starting today, you'll work in our shop to pay off the debt. With that, he dragged her towards the door. Just then, I suddenly spoke to stop him. Then I threw a pair of chopsticks at that person. The next second, the chopsticks accurately hit the back of his hand. Seeing this scene, the other two hurriedly drew their swords and shouted, Black 5-volt inverse Taiji pattern. Amir, declining Kongtong Pai dares to attack us? However, the injured person looked at me with terror. Big brother, that's not the point. That fellow actually stood up. A life or death fight, sharp as a needle against an awl. My weapon was just an ordinary spoon. But before the bullies could rejoice for 2 seconds, I shattered their lively testicles with a single move. Just as I intervened to stop the members of the Xianhui in the bustling market, due to circulating my internal energy, my manhood involuntarily stood up. This shocked the underling I had beaten. Big brother. That fellow's thing actually stood up. Hearing this, I quickly struck a seductive pose. Just then, Lu Jiangwei's voice suddenly came from behind. She asked with a flushed face, Junior brother. Was that martial art just now used to confuse the opponent? Used? This made my heart skip a beat. Why is this fellow blushing? Could it be that she's really interested in men? At this moment, the members of Xianhui suddenly burst into laughter. The fellow who's always aroused. He's simply a buffoon. Seeing you look like a pretty boy, I thought you were a eunuch. I didn't expect you to actually have a sky-high erection. Speaking of this, they suddenly changed their tune. But you've angered Xianhui, and you'll have to pay a painful price for this. Hearing this, I calmly picked up a spoon from the ground. If you want us to pay the price, then come and get it. But if you fail, you will lose that pair of lively testicles. Hearing this, The members of Zion Hui were all furious. Seeing that a great battle was imminent, I then entrusted the task of protecting the Su family women to Lu Zhengwei. Su Guanyuan, seeing this, looked worried. Can young Master Li handle it alone? Lu Zhengwei signaled him not to worry. Although junior brother made a joke just now, he's still very formidable. And at this time, Xia Inhui's members also began to attack me. After easily dodging a horizontal slash, I seized the opportunity and responded. With just one move, I directly shattered 3 pairs of lively testicles. Just then, Master suddenly pushed open the door. Sorry, I'm late. I just went to see a merchant who is willing to provide financial support to the sect. But when he saw the chaotic situation inside, the horrific scene made him not hesitate below. Quickly tell me what happened. After learning the whole story, Master immediately punched me and Lu Zhengwei. Simply outrageous. Do you know what consequences this will have? Hearing this, I immediately apologized to Lord Su. I'm very sorry for causing trouble for the inn. But Su Guanyuan expressed his gratitude to me. If young Master Li hadn't intervened today, not only would the inn have been snatched by them, perhaps my daughter would also have been persecuted by them. Hearing this, Master was instantly filled with hatred. What a bunch of evildoers. This sect master will go and deal with Zion Hui right now. At this, Su Guanyuan helplessly shook his head. Thank you for your kind intentions, sect master. But Zion Hui has the more powerful Hailong Bang behind it. So, I don't want to involve Kong Tong Quan because of my affairs. Saying this, he shifted the topic to Su Xiaoling. If possible, could I ask sect master to help me take care of Linger? The sect master immediately agreed. But just then, I suddenly interrupted them. Because if this continues, although Su Xiaoling entered Kong Tong Pai, like in her previous life, but this is not the best way. At such a young age, she closed off her heart due to the Wuling conflict. So, the most important thing right now is to alleviate the pain in her heart. Everyone has 2 eyes and a pair of ears. It's not for us to think of escaping when we encounter problems. Seeing people who treat us like family encounter difficulties but turning a blind eye. How can our sect be considered a righteous and prestigious one? Hearing these words, Master suddenly fell into deep thought. You're right. As the sect master of Kong Tong Pai, seeing disciples act chivalrously should be a joyous occasion. Then, do you have the confidence to face Hailong Bang? Seeing Master agree, I quickly patted my chest and assured him. I want to use our sect's name to issue a martial arts challenge to Hailong Bang. At that time, no matter who the opponent is, I will definitely defeat him. Master looked astonished. A martial arts challenge? Will they be willing to accept it? Hearing this, I revealed a meaningful smile. Then we'll have to force them to accept. Soon, the challenge letter was delivered to Zion Hui. Seeing the text, the leader of Zion Hui was furious. 3-on-2 will battle. Kong Tong Pai sends 2 disciples and 3 Hailong Bang members. Compete. If we lose, Kong Tong Pai will seal its doors for 50 years and not interfere in Jianghu affairs. If we win, Hailong Bang and Zion Hui will completely leave Huading County. After reading, the leader suddenly spoke. Although this condition is favorable to us, and we also have strong individuals like Haixilong, Wei Xiaonian as witnesses, but we can't, for this small matter, cause trouble for the adults of Hailong Bang. Just then, a voice suddenly came from above him. When the boss turned his head to look, he saw a pair of 2.2-meter-long legs appear before him. The newcomer was none other than Hailong Bang Huamian Hujian Lu Yilin. Accept their challenge. I will personally participate then. Hearing this, the leader of Zion Hui looked puzzled. We, Zion Hui, can handle this small matter. Lu Yilin spoke again. The entire Huading County is now abuzz with rumors. A young man, using only a spoon, castrated the members of Zion Hui. That's right, before issuing the challenge, it was I who spread this news throughout the streets. I even boasted that Hailong Bang was also a small fry. Hearing this, the leader of Zion Hui quickly knelt down and begged for mercy. I'm sorry, Lord Lu. It was Zion Hui that caused Hailong Bang to lose face. Lu Yilin patted his shoulder. Long Meng spoke. I will personally take action this time. So, don't let this kind of thing happen again next time. At the same time, I was doing Taigang Yundong while feeling smug. This idea is simply too perfect. defeating the rampaging Shepai for the sake of the good people. Just thinking about it makes me a little excited. From then on, those peerless beauties will definitely throw themselves into my arms. I, merely by acting cute, easily won over the #1 person in Shepai. And with superb acting skills, I ignited senior sister's fighting spirit. Just as Lu Lin was moved by my sincere words, I whispered my wish in her ear. I want to lie in the same bed with senior, under the bright moonlight, and experience Eunuch Lu. Saying this, I feigned difficulty and shook my head. No, no. Hearing this, Lu Yilin hurriedly asked me why not. I then told her, I am a disciple of the righteous Kong Tong Pai. I cannot place personal desires above the greater good of the sect. So, please, senior, help me deliver the martial arts challenge to Hailongbang. Speaking of this, I, for my skillful change of subject, began to feel smug. However, Lu Yilin looked very angry. Then, in my direction, she let out a roar, not only shattering my long sword, but also sending me flying. This left me completely baffled. Everything was fine just now. How did Ashur Hogong suddenly appear? What did I do wrong? Lu Yilin, who had regained her senses, was startled by this. Then, full of guilt, she helped me up. Are you all right? I didn't mean it just now. I just wanted to vent some emotions, and ended up using internal energy unconsciously. At this moment, I directly spat out a mouthful of 82-year-old aged blood, even if it's the alternate account of the #1 evil sect member. She is, after all, a master who has stepped into the Xian realm. This roar almost cost me my life. But looking at her flustered appearance, it seems she really didn't intend to attack me. If that's the case, I absolutely cannot miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So I whined coquettishly, Senior, how could you treat a junior like this? I heard you are very good to people you acknowledge. Lu Yilin hurriedly explained, that was truly a misunderstanding. Seeing that the time was ripe, I then asked her if she could fulfill my wish of delivering the martial arts challenge invitation. Lu Yilin readily agreed. I will definitely help you achieve it. Seeing this, I revealed a triumphant smile. Indeed, a coquettish man has the best luck. But what I didn't expect even more was, before parting, she also left a few sumingdan on the ground. Seeing this, my eyes lit up. This move was simply a huge gain. After Lu Yilin left, Lu Zhengwei's voice came again from not far away. This made me lose my composure at once. I absolutely cannot let senior sister and master know about Lu Yilin. So I quickly lay on the ground, pretending to have just regained consciousness. Soon, after Lu Zhengwei arrived, she pulled me into her embrace. Junior brother, are you all right? I signaled her not to worry. A group of black-clothed, masked men attacked Kong Tong Pai just now. I fought them desperately for a long time, but in the end, they still escaped. Saying this, I put on a pained expression again. Although I suffered some minor injuries, fortunately, I successfully defended Kong Tong Pai. Hearing this, Lu Zhengwei suddenly thought of something. Those people must be from Xian Hui, because only they would do such despicable things. Next time I see them, I definitely won't be lenient. Seeing this, I revealed a satisfied smile. Not bad, not bad. My superb acting wasn't in vain. The more senior sister hates Xian Hui, the more strength she can display in the martial arts tournament. But what disgusts me is, do these things have to be said while hugging? Scene change. After 3 days of circulating qi for healing, my body has completely recovered. These plain orders, let's save them for important occasions. Just then, Master and Lu Zhengwei suddenly came looking for me. However, I was already lying weakly in bed, rested for a while. My body feels much better now. Hearing these words, both of them were very happy. Master told me that if I wanted to recover quickly, I must supplement my nutrition. Lu Zhengwei then took my hand and hurriedly said, Junior brother, if there's anything you want to eat, just say it. I will definitely buy it for you. Hearing this, my eyes instantly brightened. Since joining Kong Tong Pai, I've long grown tired of the simple meals every day. Why not take this opportunity to eat some food that can boost my vitality? Although Gao Li is the best, but considering the sect's poor financial situation, I had to settle for the next best thing. I want to eat pork and pork liver. Hearing this, Lu Zhengwei immediately went down the mountain to buy food. She cried and blamed herself. It's all my fault for not protecting junior brother properly. So, in order not to let junior brother get hurt again, I must become stronger. A moment later, Lu Zhengwei finally arrived at Kongtongkajan. She told Su Guanyuan the news of my injury and asked if he could sell her some pork. Su Guanyuan agreed without hesitation. After all, young Master Li was also injured because of us. You cannot be like an ungrateful animal and do nothing. Hearing this, Lu Zhengwei quickly expressed her gratitude. But just then, Su Xiaoling suddenly slammed the table and stood up. I also want to go to Kongtong Pai to take care of young Master Li. This made Lu Zhengwei look puzzled. Take care of junior brother? I alone am enough. Miss Su, there's absolutely no need for this. However, Su Xiaoling's face was full of determination. As young Master Li's future wife, isn't it my duty to take care of him? Aroused at the thought of a beauty examining my body, my manhood unconsciously got aroused. But just as I was engaged in intense hardware softening work, accidents happened one after another. Just as Su Xiaoling learned of my illness, she suddenly stood up. As young Master Li's future wife, I want to go take care of him. Su Guanyuan explained awkwardly. I just told Xiaolin that if she's looking for a husband, she should definitely find someone like young Master Li. It turned out that just a few days ago, Su Guanyuan was drowning his sorrows in alcohol over Zion Hui's attempt to seize the inn. Just then, Su Xiaoling came up with a teacup. Father, are you all right? Even if people from the Kongtong Pai come to help, are you still very worried? This made Su Guanyuan fall silent for a moment. If we lose the martial arts competition against Heilongbang, not only the inn and us, even the Kongtong Pai will be implicated. Speaking of this, he suddenly smiled and changed the subject. Xiaolin, what do you think of young Master Li? Su Xiaoling thought for a moment. He's a good person, but Su Guanyuan also agreed. Young Master Li was very brave when he fought against Zion Hui. A man as outstanding as him is qualified to be my daughter's future husband. Hearing this, Su Xiaoling blushed. Father, I don't object to you saying that. So that's why Su Xiaoling declared herself my future wife and wanted to take care of me. Realizing it, Su Xiaoling spoke again. Young Master Li was injured because of our inn. It's only right and proper that I should go and take care of him. This left Lu Zhengwei speechless. Although she was right, but she just felt unhappy. At this moment, Su Guanyuan spoke, breaking the deadlock. If young Master Lu doesn't like Xiaolin taking care of young Master Li, then can he take her up the mountain to see him? In the end, Lu Zhengwei still agreed. Because ever since Zion Hui caused trouble that day, the streets have been in a state of panic. So compared to here, the mountain is safer. At the same time, I was lying in bed, wondering why it's such a good time. I was actually alone with Master. If a beauty ran over now, to examine my body, and then engage in some hardware softening work with me, wouldn't that be the best way to take care of a patient? Just then, a sound suddenly came from outside the door. Master guessed it was Lu Zhengwei returning, and prepared to go out and see. After I was left alone in the room, I continued to do Taigang Yundong. I've been doing this exercise for a while now. Seeing my erect manhood push up the quilt, I instantly recalled memories from my past life. Although I often fantasized in my past life, I ultimately couldn't relieve myself. Thinking of this, an idea suddenly popped into my head. Why not take advantage of being alone now? Relieve myself in secret. However, just as I was cleaning up, Su Xiaoling opened the door without a sound. Young Master Li, long time no see. Seeing this, my heart was in turmoil. But my mouth, still friendly, asked her why she was here. Su Xiaoling then explained that to take care of me, she would temporarily stay at Kongtong Pan during this period. Saying this, she took out a towel and was about to wipe my body. Hearing this, I immediately broke out in a cold sweat. But before I could agree, she directly lifted the quilt. This made me shout uncontrollably, "Quick, quick, stop." At the same time, Lu Zhengwei was cooking in the kitchen, but his face showed a hint of sadness. Su Xiaoling can openly say she wants to be junior brother's wife. She's very beautiful and will definitely be a beauty when she grows up. But I can only be a man for my whole life. At this moment, he suddenly thought of something else. Since I can't like junior brother as a woman, then as my most important person, junior brother, I can't let him casually marry other women either. So even Miss Su needs to pass my verification. Just then, Su Xiaoling walked in with a dejected look. Young Master Li said that men and women should not be intimate. He won't let me wipe his body. Young Master Lu, you are a man, can you help him? Hearing these words, Lu Zhengwei's face lit up with joy and he hardened. On the other side, I had just regained my senses. Lu Zhengwei rushed in. You said Miss Su is a woman. So it's inconvenient for her to wipe your body. But junior brother and I are both men. So you can rest assured and entrust your body to me. Hearing this, I panicked. Senior brother, I don't need it now. Before he finished speaking, Lu Zhengwei eagerly started pulling at me. In the end, not only was the quilt torn, even my clothes were torn to shreds by him. Just like that, Lu Zhengwei again and again took my first intimate massage. But speaking of which, senior brother's technique is truly extraordinary. Scene change. Lying on the bed, Lu Yilin looked worried. Zhixiu, is that kid seriously injured? Could it be that he fell and can't get up again? Thinking of this, he suddenly realized something was wrong. As a Xinjing master, the #1 person in Shipai, I am actually concerned about an unknown junior. I am the #1 beauty that all men desire. Could it be that I was really smitten by a young boy from Kongtong Pai? Later, he summoned the leader of Xian Hui and reminded him that he was going to Hailong Bang's headquarters. During his absence, don't cause trouble. Along the way, Lu Yilin kept denying it to himself. How could I possibly fall for that kind of person? I'm just keeping my promise. I definitely won't like you, Li Zhixiu. He was originally the reclusive #1 person in Shipai, but to fulfill a promise, he didn't hesitate to reveal his true appearance. To facilitate a martial arts duel. Just as Lu Zhengwei forcibly finished giving me a body massage, he asked me how I felt. I said it was very comfortable, but actually, I wanted to die. Every corner of my body was touched by a man. Hearing my answer, Lu Zhengwei was overjoyed. Then, I'll give you acupressure massages every day from now on. Hearing this, I suddenly sat up. No need to trouble senior brother. This time is enough. Lu Zhengwei immediately refused. As long as junior brother can get better quickly, I can do anything. Then he said cheerfully that he would get me some water to drink. Although this made me very unhappy, but I have to say, Lu Zhengwei's massage effect was indeed good. My body felt significantly better. But having senior brother touch me like this every day is clearly unacceptable to me. It seems I must quickly arrange the martial arts competition. Although Qi Siyue promised me she would persuade Hailong Bang. But this is not enough at all. A fair person is also needed for the martial arts competition. The so-called fair person is the person who proves the fairness of the competition. This can not only prevent Xu Feng from telling lies like claiming they won, but also be responsible for publicizing the results of the competition. But the biggest problem now is finding a highly respected and impartial person. And after the decline of Kongtong Pai, in Gansu province, only Shimin Shijia meets the conditions. But Shimin Shijia, who has always disliked meddling in others' affairs, will definitely not agree. Now I can only wait until my body recovers before paying attention to the movements of Shimin Shijia. Just then, Lu Zhengwei came in again with a cup of water. Seeing this, I asked him if he had nothing else to do. Lu Zhengwei happily nodded. I then asked, senior brother, if you take care of me, who will cook? But when I learned from his mouth that it was Su Xiaoling, I directly spat out the water I was about to drink. My pork is ruined. Su Xiaoling can't cook at all. The scene changes. Inside Hailong Bang, Lu Yilin, from Kongtong Pai, wants to use the Jianghu method to settle the matter with Xian Hui. He told this to the leader of Hailong Bang. This made the leader of Hailong Bang, Wei Tianming, very displeased. Just for this small matter, you requested to see me alone? Huamian Hujian Lu Yilin. Do you think meeting with the sect leader alone is child's play? As he spoke, a powerful internal energy erupted from his body, eventually transforming into a fierce-looking black dragon. However, Lu Yilin's heart was completely unmoved. As all the internal energy gathered into a scroll, the next second, Wei Tianming threw the scroll towards Lu Yilin, but it was easily unraveled by Lu Yilin. Seeing this scene, Wei Tianming was astonished. I clearly added internal energy. Speaking of this, his eyes widened in terror. Suddenly, Lu Yilin tore off his disguise, revealing his true appearance. When did I allow you to be presumptuous in front of me? Seeing this, Wei Tianming hurriedly ran to him and kowtowed. Alliance leader Lien, why are you here? At this moment, Qi Xiue looked displeased. Li Zhexiu, you big scoundrel. It's all your fault that I revealed my true appearance. Then, he directly said, accept the martial arts challenge from Kong Tong Pai. Wei Tianming replied weakly, but agreeing to this martial arts competition seems to have no benefit. Siyu laughed at him for only knowing one thing and not the other. Isn't there still Shimen Shijia? Hearing this, Wei Tianming suddenly understood. Shimen Shijia. Those despicable fellows have been waiting for an opportunity for hundreds of years. Gansu province has been Kong Tong Pai's stronghold for centuries. If Kong Tong Pai revives, it's only a matter of time before Shimen Shijia is suppressed. So, Shimen Shijia has always ignored the affairs of Xianhui. The quick downfall of Kong Tong Pai is a situation they are willing to see. After Kong Tong Pai falls, as a righteous sect, they will use revenge as an excuse to fight Heilong Bang, thereby solidifying their position as the #1 sect in Gansu province. Speaking of this, Qi Xiue suddenly interjected. But if Heilong Bang completely destroys Kong Tong Pai through a martial arts competition, they won't have a chance to intervene. Hearing this, Wei Tianming immediately assured, please rest assured, alliance leader. I will definitely win the martial arts competition, and then destroy the foundation of Kong Tong Pai, cutting off their lifeline. However, Qi Xiue directly rejected his idea. Don't destroy Benshan. This made Wei Tianming very confused. But what he didn't know was, at this moment, Qi Xiue was thinking, before Li Zhexiu comes of age, he needs a place to live. At the same time, I was rushing towards the kitchen to actually let Su Xiaoling cook such precious pork. According to intelligence from imperial spies in my previous life, anyone who ate Su Xiaoling's cooking almost died. This wasn't because there was poison in it, but simply because it was inedible. My pork, please don't let anything happen to it. But when I arrived at the kitchen, I found that not only the pork, perhaps even the kitchen was about to burn down. Lu Zhengwei, seeing this, hurriedly went to fetch water. However, I secretly thought, not good. The kitchen is like this. Why haven't I seen Su Xiaoling? Could she still be in the kitchen? Thinking of this, I hurriedly pushed open the door, and then carried out Su Xiaoling who was lying on the ground. And the moment Su Xiaoling saw me, his eyes seemed to be filled with light. The woman never expected that she, a mere young gang leader, would become the target of an unknown nobody's affections. Just as I rescued Su Xiaoling from the burning kitchen, he looked self-reproachful. Young Masterly, I need to go put out the fire. I immediately refused. What's important now is not the kitchen, but you. You must remember, you are the most important. Hearing this, Su Xiaoling's eyes widened, and even his face couldn't help but flush a rosy red. Where did Lu Zhengwei come from? Seeing this, he immediately let go of the bucket. Junior brother, why are you holding Miss Su? Hearing this, I was startled. I was trying to save Miss Su from the fire, so I had no choice but to act impolitely. Believe me, I definitely didn't do anything shameless. Seeing me so anxious to clear our relationship, Lu Zhengwei's face also flushed with a rosy hue. This left me completely baffled. I just said try. What's wrong with him again? At this moment, I suddenly thought of something. Could the rumors from my past life be true? The reason why Lu Zhengwei, the #1 swordsman in the world, is cold to women, is because he has an unspeakable relationship with his junior sister, Su Xiaoling. Thinking of this, I was suddenly shocked. I almost made a big mistake. I must separate them. So I carried the water bucket to Lu Zhengwei. Thanks to senior brother's massage, I feel much better now. Now let's quickly finish up in the kitchen, and then go train together. Hearing these words, Lu Zhengwei's heart instantly blossomed with joy. Really? That's great. Looking at Lu Zhengwei's happy expression, I felt helpless. If I don't want to lose to my handsome senior brother, then I can only become an outstanding person. This martial arts competition is the first time the world will see the transformed Kong Tong Pai. So, I must change everyone's perception of Kong Tong Pai. Scene 1, Wei Tianming, the leader of Heilongbang, held a meeting regarding the martial arts competition ceremony. At this moment, an elder spoke, Emir Kong Tong Pai, submitted a martial arts challenge to us. Why should we accept this challenge? Another man with a beard chimed in, that's right. Leader, please give me the order. I'll go right now and slice those arrogant fellows into pieces. Wei Tianming signaled everyone to be quiet. Then he announced his acceptance of Kong Tong Pai's martial arts challenge. The elders were all puzzled by this. Wei Tianming then explained, Emir Kong Tong Pai, challenging Heilongbang is impossible. But Kong Tong Pai's proposal is beneficial to us. Speaking of this, he slammed the table and stood up. If we defeat Kong Tong Pai using orthodox methods, then the people of Shimen Shurjia cannot casually interfere in our affairs. The new overlord's elders clapped and cheered, as expected of the leader. Then who should we send? It's more appropriate. Wei Tianming thought for a moment. After all, it's a rising star. The battle between them, let the young master handle this matter. Scene change. Heilongbang training ground. The young master of Heilongbang, Wei Shaolian, stared intently ahead. The next second, several burly men rushed towards him with swords. However, Wei Shaolian, with just a single thrust, easily ended the battle. A bunch of idiots. Is this all you've got with real swords? Just then, a subordinate suddenly reported, Young master, the sect leader has assigned you a task. When night fell, I was meditating cross-legged outside the door. Just then, Wei Shaolian also arrived here as ordered. It's simply too shabby to actually send me to such a beggar-like sect. Errand boy, quickly call out your sect leader now. Hearing this, I slowly opened my eyes. Finally, he's here. The number one rising star of the evil sect, Wei Shaolian. Seeing that I didn't respond, Wei Shaolian seemed a little impatient. What are you dawdling for? Hurry up and call him. Perhaps because he's been the rising star of the evil sect since he was young. He acts very arrogant. Rumor has it that he's a tomboyish beauty. But I didn't expect him to be just a rude girl. Thinking of this, I directly spoke, what if I'm not willing? This made Wei Shaolian furious. How dare you disobey my orders? At this, I revealed a meaningful smile. Indeed, just as I thought. This kind of prideful fellow can't stand provocation the most. Thinking of this, I immediately put on a smug face. A mere young gang leader actually orders around the leader of a prestigious and righteous sect. I really don't know who gave you the courage. If you apologize now, then when it comes to the martial arts competition, I definitely won't let you lose too badly. Wei Shaolian laughed heartily. Kong Tong Pai versus Heilongbang? You're really kidding me. Hearing this, my eyes instantly turned cold. You overconfident fellow. If you're so confident, how about we make a bet on the martial arts competition? Wei Shaolian retorted, why should I make a bet? I smiled charmingly. Scared? This made Wei Shaolian instantly furious. Seeing this, I added fuel to the fire again. Humph. Heilongbang, daring not to bet with me, is like a bunch of limp earthworms. Seeing that the time was ripe, I immediately proposed the conditions. If our sect loses, I will be your manservant. Wei Shaolian, who was still angry, agreed without thinking. Although that won't happen. But if I lose, I'll call you brother for the rest of my life. Hearing this, I licked my lips with a wicked expression. From brother to dear, and from dear to husband. Just thinking about it makes me happy. He made his move. Lu Zhengwei, who had just entered Jianghu, decisively made his move. But what I didn't expect was, he actually completed a counterkill in a 1v4. Just after my argument with Wei Shaolian, Mei Yue, who heard the commotion, master came out. You are the one sent by Heilongbang to deliver the message? Seeing this, Wei Shaolian immediately corrected his posture. I am the young master of Heilongbang. Wei Shaolian. This is the reply the sect leader entrusted me to deliver to you. This surprised me greatly. I didn't expect this little girl to be so polite. Could it be that she was deliberately provoking me just now? At this moment, master slowly opened the letter. The time is noon in half a month. The place is Huading County. In the presence of everyone, we agree to a martial arts competition between 3 rising stars of the second generation. This made master quite surprised. No other conditions, and you're willing to accept our martial arts challenge? Wei Shaolian nodded in affirmation. In the afternoon, the sect will act as Hai Long Bang's impartial judge. At that time, please also have Kong Tong Pai find an impartial judge. Hearing this, Master was silent for a moment. Don't worry. Our sect plans to ask Shimin Shurjia to be the impartial judge. Before leaving, Wei Shaolian suddenly gave me a sharp look. And I, not to be outdone, responded with a grimace. This made Wei Shaolian flush with shame and anger. After uncontrollably uttering a curse word, he disappeared on the spot. Just then, Lu Zhengwei ran out again in a hurry. Master, what was the commotion just now? Master told him that Hai Long Bang had sent someone, and instructed him to also go to Shimin Shurjia to send a letter. But what they didn't know was, Shimin Shurjia really disliked this martial arts competition. Sending this kind senior brother over, he might get bullied. So I immediately proposed to go with senior brother. This trip to Shimin Shurjia is senior brother's first Jianghu journey, and as his junior brother, I want to accompany him. Hearing this, Lu Zhengwei beamed with joy. You kid, you're really thoughtful for your senior brother. As he spoke, he couldn't help but embrace me. Junior brother, thank you so much. The next day, after packing our luggage, sitting in front of the door, I couldn't help but feel a little expectant. Lanzhou City, where Shimin Shurjia is located, is the largest city in Gansu province. Now, I've finally taken the first step into Jianghu. At this moment, Su Xiaoling, looking worried, walked over. Young Masterly, I heard you're going to Lanzhou. I haven't had a chance to thank you for yesterday's events. Thank you for saving me in the kitchen. After the incident, this is already the second time you've saved me. Every time, because of my incompetence, I cause you trouble. I'm sorry. I signaled him not to feel guilty. When I suffered internal injuries, I also relied on Miss Su's care. Miss Su, you always work very hard, so you don't need to blame yourself for being a useless person. Saying this, I placed my hand on his head for a moment of comfort. If you want to change your destiny, then formally join Kong Tong Pai. After you learn martial arts, maybe you can become the #1 woman among women. So, Miss Su, you must cherish yourself. Wanting to become stronger starts with cherishing oneself. Do you understand? Su Xiaoling nodded gently. Although I've never thought about what young Masterly said, but since you said it, I will definitely keep it in mind. Just then, a voice suddenly interrupted them. Junior brother, what are you doing? Hurry up and come out. This made my heart pound wildly. He really knows how to ruin the atmosphere. Before leaving, Master didn't forget to remind us. This is your first journey in Jianghu. You must be careful. Then, while passing through the market in Huading County, seeing the candy on the stall, Lu Zhengwei immediately stopped. Junior brother, let's have a candy. This left me speechless. I'm not a child anymore. How can he still be so happy seeing candy? But what left me even more speechless was his mere act of eating candy could actually attract the admiration of several women. But compared to these, my heart never let down its guard. Because ever since entering Huading County, we've been followed by someone. Although I can tell he has no martial arts, but his actions are exceptionally careful and cunning. If he's not a thief, then perhaps he's related to shaman. Could all this be instigated by Qi Siyue? Judging from Qi Siyue's Southern Chan temperament, this is not good news. If that's really the case, I'll have to turn this around and use it to my advantage. Then I seized the opportunity and caught that person on the spot. You rascal! How dare you steal my wallet? I'm being magnanimous and won't haggle with you. Saying this, he directly drew his long sword. There must be someone behind you, pulling the strings. Take me to that person right now. Soon, under that person's guidance, we arrived at an inn. This made me instinctively vigilant. This place looks like an ordinary inn from the outside, but it's too quiet and I haven't seen any customers. Just then, a man suddenly walked out from inside the inn. We're not open yet. What can I do for you? I asked bluntly. Is this the shaman's hideout in Huading County? The man shrugged and replied, I don't know what you're talking about. But the next second, I threw a copper coin directly at him. The result was not what I expected. What incredible skill! You really are a Warren. Seeing that he had been exposed, the man simply stopped pretending. Then he took out a thin and long weapon, preparing to retaliate. Seeing this, I was startled. This is a Chuini emotion. It's very dangerous if you get hit by it. Fortunately, Lu Jiangwei reacted quickly. Before he could brag, he was knocked to the ground with a single punch. Hearing the commotion, 3 more men ran out from inside the inn. Seeing this, Lu Jiangwei faced the challenge again. His powerful strength even caused thick smoke to billow from the scene. Seeing this, I couldn't help but secretly sigh. I knew this guy was strong, but I didn't expect him to be this strong. She's here, she's here. Sichuan's #1 beauty, Ji, has finally appeared. However, this object of desire for all men is actually Qi Siue's second alternate persona. Just as Lu Jiangwei took action and defeated all the attackers. To prevent the situation from escalating further, I hurriedly signaled him to leave the rest to me. Later, I grabbed the manager's ear and questioned him. You fellow, why did you escalate things? Not only did you have someone follow us, you also suddenly used Chuiniasin on us. My senior brother was scared by you. The manager hurriedly apologized. But I refused. If you want to apologize, take me to your boss. Otherwise, I won't let you off. Just then, a voice suddenly entered my mind. Young Hero Lee, stop bullying the poor manager. How about coming to the private room on the 2nd floor to chat with me? Hearing this, I immediately became vigilant. I didn't expect a Qingluin in such a small place to have a master capable of Tuanin. And she didn't call senior brother, only me. Could this also be Qi Siue's instruction? With questions in my heart, I walked directly towards the 2nd floor. But when he learned I was going to meet a master from Shaman alone, Lu Jiangwei immediately refused. Junior brother, this is too dangerous. Perhaps this is a trap set by Shaman. I signaled him not to worry. Why not take this opportunity to also find out what their plan is? Seeing my determination, Lu Jiangwei no longer tried to stop me. Junior brother, you must be careful. I'll be waiting for you here. Soon, I arrived at the room the person mentioned. But before I could knock, the door opened automatically. Then, a charming and alluring voice sounded. Young Hero Lee, you've arrived. To meet you here by chance. It's truly delightful. After seeing the person's appearance clearly, my face couldn't help but blush. Although I already knew it would be a Qinglu woman, I didn't expect it to be Sichuan's #1 beauty, Lin Yuexiang. All men, to drink and chat with her, would travel far, even bankrupting themselves. But the problem is, she's not an ordinary Qinglu woman. Her true identity is the #1 person in Shipai, Qi Siue's second alternate persona. Although she said it was a chance encounter, I knew in my heart she called me over, simply because of her obsession. And after seeing me take a seat, Lin Yuexiang's face also unconsciously blushed. Li Zhixiu, I finally caught you. Although you, kid, passed Hua Mianhu Jian's test. This is all because you're a lecher who agrees to anything. I can't like this kind of man. Why not take this opportunity to test him again? If he can't resist Lin Yuexiang's temptation, I'll make him pay a heavy price. Thinking this, she first removed her veil. Then, she used Miangong, specifically designed to entice the opposite sex. Then she revealed a confident smile, because her Miangong had already reached a first-class realm, affecting the opposite sex's spirit, and making them lose all rationality. As Miangong continued to spread, my body gradually began to feel hot. Seeing the time was ripe, Lin Yuexiang immediately decided to test me. So she caressed my hand and asked, Young Hero Lee, why did you come to Shaman? It's to. But just as she thought I was hooked, I directly pushed her hands away. It's to ask about some things clearly. Seeing this, Lin Yuexiang was shocked. Lin Yuexiang's Miangong actually has no effect on him. At this moment, I continued to speak. Shaman, stalking Kong Tong Pai disciples, is too impolite, isn't it? Are you trying to sell our information to Hailongbang? If Hailongbang knew this information, they might send assassins. Just kill us. And Hailongbang not only wouldn't have to participate in the competition, but could also get rid of the eyesore, Kong Tong Pai, right? Although I was complaining verbally, I knew clearly in my heart that Hailongbang wouldn't stoop to asking Shaman for help. So the truth isn't important to me. Since she showed a flaw, I must devour her whole. Even if Lin Yuexiang's Miangong is powerful, it's useless against me. Although my body is young, my spirit is the same as in my previous life. Reaching Xuanji. If her true self came, it might be different. But Lin Yuexiang, after all, is just a mere Qinglu woman. It's impossible for her to shake my rationality. Thinking of this, I immediately put on a wicked expression. Not only did you send people to follow us, you also used such a petty trick like Miangong on me. How do you plan to beg for forgiveness for such an offense? Lin Yuexiang immediately explained the reason. The martial arts competition between Hailongbang and Kong Tong Pai has already caused a sensation in the martial world. Our sect, which relies on intelligence for a living, had to take action. Saying this, she again expressed her apologies to me. This matter is indeed my fault, and it has nothing to do with Hailongbang. So, please, young Master Li, don't misunderstand. But what she couldn't understand was, the smarter a person is, the easier they should be bewitched by my Miangong. But why is my martial art ineffective against him? With doubts in her heart, she asked, young hero Li, don't you feel even a trace of feminine charm from me? I immediately denied, you are a peerless beauty. It would be a lie to say you have no charm. The reason I'm not moved is because I have no romantic feelings for you at all. Hearing this, Lin Yuexiang's face instantly turned red. No romantic feelings? Not seduced by me? Could it be he truly isn't a man swayed by desire? Since he passed the test, it seems I need to offer some reward. At this moment, I continued to speak, seeing your sincere remorse. I'll forgive your rudeness. However, our Kong Tong Pai has a proposal. I hope you can convey this to the sect leader of shaman. And my proposal is related to this martial arts competition and Shimen Shurjia. At the same time, inside Shimen Shurjia, the steward conveyed to head Shimen the news that Hailongbang had accepted the martial arts challenge. But what worried him was, if in the formal martial arts competition, Hailongbang defeated Kong Tong Pai, we, Shimen Shurjia, would have no excuse to attack Hailongbang. Head of Shimen family, Shimen Xiantian, signaled him not to worry. Throughout Gansu province, all martial artists look to our Shimen Shurjia. Without Shimen Shurjia's consent, Kong Tong Pai will never find an impartial judge. I merely stated my purpose for coming, yet it made the head of Shimen Shurjia furious, even disregarding his status to attack us juniors. Now let me personally test your strength. Previously, after several days of travel, Lu Zhengwei and I finally arrived in Lanzhou. Looking at the bustling market, Lu Zhengwei couldn't help but exclaim, truly worthy of being the largest market in Gansu province. And the people of Lanzhou also recognized our identities from our clothing. It seems the rumors are true. I heard Kong Tong Pai is going to face Hailongbang head-on. It seems they've even found long-lost martial arts techniques. Hearing this, Lu Zhengwei was quite surprised. I didn't expect people here to know about us too. But I had anticipated this. Although Kong Tong Pai is not as prominent as before, it is, after all, the most powerful and historically longest-standing sect in Gansu province. After a while, we finally arrived at our destination, Shimen Shurjia. At this moment, the guard in charge of communication suddenly asked, are you also here to visit the main family? May I ask if you have an appointment in advance? Hearing this, I immediately stated my purpose. This is a personal letter from the leader of Kong Tong Pai. We've come this time to discuss in detail with head Shimen the matter of the martial arts competition with Hailongbang. However, the guard was completely indifferent to this. No matter what sect you are from, if you don't have an appointment in advance, then obediently go over there and queue up. Seeing this, Lu Zhengwei immediately became anxious. Junior brother, let's hurry up and queue. Otherwise, we won't be able to get in today. However, I directly stopped him. Don't worry, leave this to me. So I immediately berated the guard angrily. This letter concerns a major matter of the martial world. A mere guard dares to ignore a letter from Kong Tong Pai. Seeing my resolute attitude, the guard's tone softened considerably. But only those who have an appointment with the family head can. Before he finished speaking, I interrupted directly. Your choice will have a negative impact on Gansu and even the Sichuan martial world. Can you really bear the consequences of your own judgment? This made the guard suddenly panic. Wait a moment. I'll go ask the head steward right now. Seeing this, I revealed a triumphant smile, using pressure to confuse the opponent. The harassment tactic was successful. In no time, a man walked out from the main gate. Welcome to your arrival. I am Shimen, who serves as the head steward of Shimen Shurjia. Feng, I apologize for the guard's rudeness earlier. Please, both young heroes, come inside. After arriving at the arranged room, I asked directly, "Excuse me, when can we meet great hero Shimen?" The steward politely explained, "The family head is very busy with business and personal cultivation, so I cannot rashly tell you the time." Hearing this, I immediately saw through the hidden meaning. Although he was polite to us, he, like the guard, wanted to make us wait indefinitely. For the sake of Shimen Shurjia's face, I came to negotiate. I can't be put in a disadvantageous position before we even start. Thinking this, I directly crossed my legs. "Please, head steward, help me convey a message to Qinchuan Jinwang. Great hero Shimen. If he doesn't see me immediately, he will miss a golden opportunity." Hearing this, the head steward was first stunned, then immediately agreed to my request. After the head steward left, Lu Zhengwei was very curious. "Junior brother, what is this golden opportunity you mentioned?" At this, I directly changed the subject. "Senior brother, we're free now. Why don't we take advantage of being at a rich family's place to properly replenish our bodies?" But just as I was feasting, the head steward rushed in. The family head wants to see both young heroes immediately. Soon, after meeting Shimen Xiantian, Lu Zhengwei and I were about to introduce ourselves, but were cut off sharply by Shimen Xiantian. "Enough of the pleasantries. Why are you engaging in a contest with Hailongbang?" I then stated. "Of course, it's to re-establish the righteous spirit of Jianghu." Shimen Xiantian continued to press. "Since you have such intentions, why then did you collude with shaman to spread rumors?" Hearing this, I immediately feigned ignorance. "I completely don't understand what you're talking about," Shimen Xiantian angrily stated. "Recently, rumors from unknown sources have been spreading rapidly. People are elevating the martial arts competition between Kongtong Pai and Hailongbang to a showdown between the righteous and evil factions, and the winning side will dominate Jianghu. At the same time, Jupai, Yibeng, and Ludemenpai have also received letters inviting them to be impartial judges. Could all this be a coincidence?" Hearing this, I felt a wave of secret delight. Qi Siue's work is indeed clean and efficient. It turns out my previous proposal to shaman was indeed to ask them to help spread rumors and let everyone know about the martial arts competition, then send letters to the major sects to act as impartial judges. Lin Yuexiang immediately understood my intention. "You want to make things big? So Shimen Shurjia has no choice but to step forward as an impartial judge. But young hero Li, our shaman, never does business at a loss. Even if I accept this proposal, the supreme sect leader may not necessarily accept it. However, I was already prepared. This is the reward for this time. Please hand it over to the supreme sect leader." Seeing this, Lin Yuexiang's interest was piqued. Although it's a bit small, a night luminescent pearl of such high purity is truly rare to see. This way, our transaction can be considered fair. Currently, Tangmen, Qingcheng, and Amei are willing to be impartial judges. And as the #1 sect in Gansu province, Shimen Shurjia, if they don't agree, it would be too shameful. Therefore, Shimen Shurjia can only be forced to be an impartial judge. At this moment, Shimen Xiantian directly voiced his speculation. Shaman is best at spreading this kind of rumor. Through this rumor, the one who benefits the most is Kongtong Pai. Kongtong Pai and shaman colluding. Could it be that I'm mistaken? But I was fearless. Do you have evidence? If it's just speculation, that's too unreasonable. Speaking of which, I revealed a wicked smile. Supreme sect leader Qi Siuai personally took action. Of course, no traces would be left. As expected, Shimen Xiantian immediately denied it. But it's rumored that this competition is a battle between righteous and evil. If you lose, let alone Hailongbang, the entire righteous faction will be in crisis. Speaking of this, his right fist suddenly clenched. The next second, he fiercely smashed the table. "Since you want a martial arts competition, then let me personally test if Kongtong Pai can defeat Hailongbang. At the same time, as a Jianghu senior, I'll also let you know what it means. That there are always mountains beyond mountains, and people beyond people." I just slightly circulated my internal energy, and my little brother stood up again. But what I didn't expect was, this scene was witnessed entirely by a strange woman. Just after Lu Zhengwei and I stated our intentions, Shimin Xiantian suddenly flew into a rage. Now let me personally test your strength. You must know, Shimin Xiantian has mastered Tai Huang, Baligong and Qin, Chuan Bawangjian, a Huajing master. Now, he only used 1/10 of his qi. And my body felt like it was being squeezed by a hydraulic press. Could it be that he wants to kill us? While I was speculating, Lu Zhengwei managed to stand up with all his might. Please don't say such things that disregard our sect. Even if our sect has declined, we haven't lost the ability to deal with evil, demons and heretics. Seeing this, I was astonished. Senior brother actually withstood Shimin Xuantian's qi wave. Truly a genius. And Shimin Xiantian was also somewhat surprised. Not bad strength. But with just this, do you think you can earn my recognition? Saying that, he swung his left fist downwards. The next second, a powerful qi wave pressed down from above our heads. The terrifying force directly shattered the ground. At this, I couldn't help but curse Shimin Xiantian, that madman. Is he trying to crush us to death? Such powerful strength, even senior brother can't handle it. And Lu Zhengwei was trying hard to think of a countermeasure. How can I break this qi wave? Xiaoyang Xinfa, Sanin Zhanjue, Milio Sungshugang, Shingong. Shimin Xiantian suddenly shouted loudly. Where has all that momentum gone? If you continue to daze, you'll hardly escape death today. However, Lu Zhengwei was not affected by this. There must be a way. Kong Tong Pai's martial arts, when yin and yang are reversed, can generate enormous explosive power. But Kong Tong Pai's martial arts only have the strong and marvelous aspects. Thinking of this, he suddenly remembered the strange encounter in the cave. Hun Yuan Jiandi's original martial art is not just that. Some parts of Kong Tong Pai's martial arts are very similar to demonic arts, but its essence is a means to achieve the reversal of yin and yang. The longer one practices Shingong, the more flexible it becomes. Thinking of this, he suddenly realized. That's right. Kong Tong Pai's martial arts are not only strong and marvelous, but also powerful yet flexible. With Hun Yuan as the center, combined with the marvelous power of Shingong and Nilua Sungshugang. So he immediately gathered a ball of air, and the next second, struck towards Shimin Xiantian. And upon seeing Shimin Xuantian's suppressive qi being dispersed, I was utterly astonished. To create a martial art on his own, in such a short time, Shimin Xiantian was also extremely shocked by this. The flow of air. Could this kid possess the Tianwu Jiti? At this moment, Lu Zhengwei suddenly spoke. Great hero Shimin. Do you still think our sect is displaying mere brute courage? However, Shimin Xiantian was muttering something to himself. Tianwu Jiti? That cunning old fox. Actually hiding a little tiger, without revealing it. Speaking of this, his attitude instantly changed. I am looking forward to the martial arts competition between Kong Tong Pai and Hailongbang. Night fell. Shimin Xiantian stood alone on the balcony of the pavilion. A disciple of Kong Tong Pai possesses the Tianwu Jiti. Becoming the future #1 under heaven is only a matter of time. Is Kong Tong Pai truly going to rise again? However, as the #1 sect in Gansu, Shimin Shijia absolutely cannot lose. Just then, a shout suddenly came from behind him, and after seeing the person who came, he immediately showed a kind smile. The person who came was Shimin Xuantian's youngest daughter, Shimin Qinghe. I heard the disciples of Kong Tong Pai came. How are they? Shimin Xiantian told her it was different from what he expected. They have a lot of backbone. And I also agreed to their martial arts competition with Hailongbang. Hearing this, Shimin Qinghe's face couldn't help but blush. Indeed, worthy of the Kong Tong Pai I admire. Have they already gone back? Shimin Xiantian explained. Because it was too late. They are now resting in the guest house. Hearing these words, Shimin Qinghe ran out impatiently. The vanguard of the righteous faction. The Kong Tong Pai disciples who stopped the demonic cult war must be incredibly handsome. And on the other side, I was diligently training outside the guest house. Today, thanks to senior brother, we were able to resolve things smoothly. Otherwise, Shimin Xiantian would definitely use this as an excuse to cancel the competition. However, the thought of Lu Zhengwei instantly creating a martial art made me instinctively channel my internal energy. But it was better not to move. As soon as I moved, my little brother stood up again. What exactly is the problem here? Just then, a strange sound suddenly came from behind. So I quickly curled up. Is it senior brother? Didn't you already rest? But when I saw the person clearly, that person actually screamed loudly. Who allowed you to approach me like this? She's here, she's here. My #1 official wife candidate has finally appeared. Just as I discovered someone was peeking at my martial arts practice. Actually a disciple of Kong Tong Pai, and I recognized her at a glance. She is the youngest daughter of Shimin Shurjia, Shimin Qinghe. I didn't expect to encounter this woman so late at night. Jianfeng Shimin Qinghe, before Su Xiaoling appeared, was known as the #1 beauty in Gansu. Not only did she secretly admire Kong Tong Pai, she later became Lu Zhengwei's crazy admirer. But Lu Zhengwei didn't accept her feelings, causing her to completely turn to the dark side, becoming a girl with an extreme personality. At this moment, Shimin Qinghe angrily denounced, under the name of Kong Tong Pai, you're actually practicing shameless techniques. A disciple of Kong Tong Pai. How can you do such a shameful thing? This one. I immediately straightened my back and demanded she take back that remark. But all I got in return was another round of scolding. You should first figure out how to deal with that shameful thing. After my little brother went down, I directly argued with reason. You should also understand the rules of the martial world. Peeking at others practicing martial arts is forbidden. Shimin Qinghe immediately retorted, absolutely shameless. How dare you call that cultivation? I asked with a serious face. A true master should be coordinated both internally and externally. What's wrong with me practicing my external cultivation method? But Shimin Qinghe thought I was quibbling. You let a woman see something she shouldn't have. I want to hold you responsible right now. This made me a little annoyed. Like father, like daughter. Today, I'll teach her a lesson. So I immediately suggested. Since it's difficult for us to reach an agreement, let's use the martial world's way to distinguish right from wrong. And settle responsibility, shouldn't we? Hearing this, Shimin Qinghe became confident all over. Are you challenging Jianfeng Shimin Qing to a martial arts competition? Exactly. I also want the entire martial world to know about your rudeness. Seeing the time was ripe, I immediately proposed the condition. The loser becomes the winner's servant girl. How about it? Shimin Qinghe readily agreed. Even if you cry your eyes out during the martial arts competition, I won't show mercy. Watching Shimin Qinghe's departing figure, I revealed a triumphant smile. Just right, I can use the opportunity of competing with this girl to take the chance to crush Shimin Shurjia under Kong Tong Pai's feet. More importantly, I'll have an ostentatious maid. It's simply wonderful. The scene changes, and Lu Zhengwei embarked on the journey back to their sect. This visit to Shimin Shurjia was very successful. Not only was the issue of the impartial judge resolved, but an agreement for a martial arts competition with Shimin Qinghe was also reached. But just then, Lu Zhengwei suddenly leaned in closer, interrupting my thoughts. Junior brother, I see you smiling. Are you thinking of something happy? I forced a smile. Thanks to senior brother's efforts, we found an impartial judge. Isn't this something to be happy about? Hearing this, Lu Zhengwei's face instantly lit up. Thank you for the compliment, junior brother. I'm so touched that you think so. I then said, this is all because senior brother possesses the Tianwu Jidi. Didn't you even create a martial art on the spot? Lu Zhengwei humbly replied, that was created based on Hunyuan Yikigong. I named it Hunyuan Gong. But it's still just an unfinished product. Junior brother, do you want to learn it? Before learning the complete Hunyuan Yikigong, using this isn't bad either. Seeing my surprised expression, Lu Zhengwei continued, you are my only junior brother. For you, I even specially created a simple mnemonic. After saying that, he began to teach seriously. And I, by the side, learned in a similar fashion. Soon, after learning it, I immediately expressed my gratitude to Lu Zhengwei. Although Hunyuan Gong is not as good as Hunyuan Yikigong, it's very suitable for Kong Tong Pai's sword techniques. More importantly, thinking of this, I locked my gaze on my little brother. Using this martial art, my little brother won't suddenly stand up. Although I don't know the reason, I feel like a missing part has been filled. The scene changes. We finally returned to Kong Tong Pai. After conveying the good news to Master, he was very happy. Seeing you perfectly complete your first Jianghu journey. I'm very touched. During the time you went to Shimin Shurjia, the sect also received a lot of good news. Saying this, He placed a stack of letters before us. For some reason, our sect's martial arts competition with Heilongbang has actually become a battle between righteous and evil. Moreover, Tangmin, Qing Cheng, Amei, and Heng Shan are all willing to be impartial judges. Hearing this, I was very surprised. Tangmin, Qing Cheng, Amei, these sects have always been at odds with Heilongbang. It's normal for them to be willing to be impartial judges. But Heng Shan Pai is the sect that replaced Kong Tong Pai among the 9 major sects. Strictly speaking, they should have a grudge against us. Could it be that Sword Empress In Shulan will also come? After getting an affirmative answer from Master, I immediately showed a lewd expression. I didn't expect the opportunity to come so quickly. Finally, I can meet my first official wife candidate. At the same time, a disciple from Heng Shan Pai was enthusiastically recounting the sect leader's past. At that time, sect leader In Shulan was only 16. At the Longfeng Dahui, where rising stars gathered, she announced in front of everyone that she would marry the man who could defeat her. As long as one could defeat her, anyone could become her husband. Hearing this, the disciples' faces were full of admiration. Not a man choosing a woman, but a woman choosing a husband. Such an unconventional declaration. It's simply too cool. The woman continued to speak. Decades passed like this, and still no one could defeat the sect leader. And our Heng Shan Pai also became one of the 9 major sects because of this. So we must be grateful to Sword Empress In Shulan, our sect leader. Just then, a woman suddenly walked over slowly. Stop talking nonsense. Get ready to leave. We're going to attend Kong Tong Pai's martial arts competition. The speaker was precisely the sect leader of Heng Shan Pai, Sword Empress In Shulan. This made the woman very confused. Master, must we go? Compared to us, Kong Tong Pai and Heilongbang are just small sects. Before she finished speaking, In Shulan interrupted directly. This is a martial arts competition between righteous and evil. For the honor of the righteous faction, our sect, as one of the 9 major sects, must also participate. Moreover, this is also for the sake of our Heng Shan Pai. The highly anticipated battle between righteous and evil finally began. But I made a declaration of love before the competition. Just before this, I held a letter in my hand and bid farewell to Master. Master, then, I'll go deliver the letter saying we've found an impartial judge. Lu Zhenghui immediately expressed his concern. Wet ground. Are you sure you'll be alright going alone? What Heilongbang people will do? None of us know. This made me very reluctant. Affection between men is truly disgusting. It was I who stiffly forced a smile, and slowly took his hand away. Don't worry, senior brother. The martial arts competition is about to begin. Even if they are evil demons and heretics, they won't do anything to me. Hearing this, Lu Zhenghui finally breathed a sigh of relief. Then you must come back quickly. Soon, after descending the mountain, I revealed a triumphant smile. Fortunately, Lu Zhenghui didn't follow this time. Although nominally it's to send a letter, I still have an ulterior motive. The scene changes. Xie Inhui's Wei Shaolian asked with an arrogant expression. You brought a letter from Kong Tong Pai? I affirmed, just to inform you, that we have already found an impartial judge. But what Wei Shaolian didn't expect was that a mere declining Kong Tong Pai would actually have so many impartial judges. Then his style suddenly changed. You're about to become my servant. You'd better think about what to do in advance. Hearing this, I couldn't help but feel a little annoyed. You should practice how to call me brother properly. We will definitely win this martial arts competition. As I was leaving, I suddenly gave him another wink. Cute little sister, see you then. Then, after walking out the door, I was still smug about my previous behavior. Wei Shaolian, that girl, tried to be clever but ended up losing out. How dare she provoke me? Next, it's time to get down to business. So, I spoke to the Zion Hui disciple beside me. I want to see your leader. I heard you've been lending money, haven't you? I happen to need some money right now. Soon, after learning my purpose, Zion Hui leader, Wei Tianming, was very confused. A disciple of Kong Tong Pai actually came to Zion Hui to borrow money? I immediately retorted, do businessmen also pick their customers? Wei Tianming laughed loudly and took out a cloth bag. Of course, it doesn't matter to us. Here are 50 taels of silver. However, our interest rate is 30% per month. Hearing this, I couldn't help but curse inwardly. This is practically robbery. But in the end, I still accepted the money. Because even if the interest rate is high, I had already made my calculations. After a while, I arrived at Shaman's Kanhualu with the borrowed money. Since the martial arts competition between righteous and evil has already been announced, how could there not be a betting pool? If I bet on Kong Tong Pai to win, then the 30% interest is nothing. Then I found the manager and asked him to lead the way. But what I didn't expect was that this time, Jean actually arranged a VIP room for me again. Could it be that Lin Yuexiang wanted to see me that badly? However, after seeing the person in the room clearly, I was suddenly shocked. Why is he here? Shaman sect leader, by Miananjuan, Mei Jilyang. Besides being Qi Siue's only disciple, he is also the strongest gay in the world. At this time, Mei Jilyang spoke first. Young hero Li, it's a pleasure to meet you. Do you have any business coming to our sect? I carefully handed over the money bag. Didn't Shaman open a betting pool for the martial arts competition? I'm here to place a bet. What are the odds for Kong Tong Pai now? Mei Jilyang counted the silver in the money bag. There are 50 taels here. If you bet on Kong Tong Pai to win, the odds are 20 to 1. Speaking of which, he suddenly leaned close to my ear. It will become 1,000 taels, oh. Seeing this, I hurriedly pulled away. If there's nothing else, I'll leave first. At this moment, Mei Jilyang took out a wooden token again. After the martial arts competition is over, take this wooden token to find the manager. After I left, he suddenly spoke to the screen behind him. Master, he's already far away. Hearing this, Qi Siue hurriedly appeared and asked, what do you think? Mei Jilyang immediately confirmed, young hero Li is not gay. Hearing this, Qi Siue's face lit up with joy. This is great. To become my partner, one must pass rigorous verification. The next day, the highly anticipated battle between righteous and evil finally began. But just as I was secretly sighing at the grand scale, a hello suddenly came from behind. The speaker was precisely the sect leader of Hangshan Pai, Yin Shualon. Seeing this, Master hurriedly stepped forward and bowed. I am Quan Ing, the sect leader of Kong Tong Pai. It is truly a blessing of 3 lifetimes to meet the Sword Empress. And after seeing her appearance with my own eyes, I couldn't help but sigh inwardly. Truly worthy of being the #1 beauty of the righteous faction. Then Yin Shualon continued to speak. Presumably, you two are the Kong Tong Pai talents participating in this martial arts competition. I hope you can show your skills in the competition. Hearing this, my face flushed red as I made a promise. Please look forward to it. This martial arts competition, we will let the whole world know of our sect's revival. And Sword Empress, I hope you can especially dote on me, your junior. Oh, speaking of which, I secretly swore in my heart. Even though I've returned to the past, my #1 wife candidate is definitely Yin Shualon. Just then, a voice came from the martial arts arena. The martial arts competition is about to begin. Will the disciples of each gang please come to the martial arts platform and get ready? Hearing this, I slowly walked towards the stage. This is my first step. As a Jianghu hero, this time, I will make all the women in the Central Plains remember my name. Of course, not just through martial arts. Thinking of this, I directly locked my gaze on Yin Shualon and loudly announced, Sword Empress Yin Shualon, when I, Li Zhixiu, come of age, I will challenge you, defeat you, and become your husband. Hearing this, the audience below was utterly shocked, and I revealed a lewd expression. Operation, Public Confession Declaration, Success. I was originally an inconspicuous, minor disciple. But I actually challenged the Sword Empress of Hangshan Pai. Everyone thought I was crazy. Little did they know, the Sword Empress once said, that as long as someone could defeat her, she would marry them. However, the female disciples of Hangshan Pai were furious about this. A young brat dares to challenge the Sword Empress. The Sword Empress is an elder of the righteous martial path. A master-level figure. Are you trying to make an enemy of our sect? I hurriedly explained, I am challenging you very seriously. Even though I know Hangshan Pai will object, I am already prepared for a martial arts competition. Hearing this, the female disciple's eyes instantly turned cold. In that case, let me test your strength right now. Seeing this, I was very surprised. Even if it's a public challenge, her reaction is too extreme. As tensions mounted, Yin Shuolan suddenly stood up and stopped her. Then she stared at me, lost in thought. A young man's challenge? It's precisely the age of youthful vigor. Just like my own declaration at the Longfeng Dahui. Although it's just a childish act, considering the current situation of Hengshan Pai, this might be a new opportunity. Thinking this, she made a decision on the spot. Kongtong Pai's Li Zhixiu, I accept your challenge. As soon as these words were spoken, the crowd below instantly erupted. Hengshan's eunuch Sword Empress actually accepted the challenge of such a young brat. At this moment, Yin Shuolan continued to speak. Any man from the righteous faction can challenge me. Therefore, I have no reason to refuse. However, if you are just playing around, I will personally punish you then. I happily made a promise. Don't worry, Sword Empress Senior, I will do my best. Then, now let me show you my sincerity. I want to prove to everyone that I am qualified to be your husband. However, the opposing Hailongbang disciple looked disdainful. Just as the rumors say, a reckless youth. This time, I'll show you what it means to bring disgrace upon yourself. Hearing this, I directly gave him an international hand gesture. If you have the guts, bring it on. I don't want to waste my breath on a weakling like you. Hearing this, the Hailongbang disciple immediately launched an attack in advance. You impolite bastard. Now I'll make you pay for what you said. Pay the price. As the smoke slowly dissipated, Hailongbang, the disciple looked at the long sword at his neck in disbelief. How could this be? In contrast, Yin Shuolan had a clear view of the entire process. Simply like flowing water, Kongtong Pai's unique light footwork is best suited for evading such large-scale attacks. As the referee raised my hand high, this also meant that the winner of the first round of the martial arts competition was decided. Then I said with a cheeky smile, don't just stand there foolishly. I know you're the weakest, so you should hurry up and get down. Filled with resentment, a large hand suddenly landed on his shoulder. Brother, calm down. Didn't I warn you not to be careless? Seeing this, I was puzzled. Are they really blood brothers? Why is the older brother so much more burly than the younger one? At this moment, the older brother began to introduce himself. I am Zhengshi Shan of Hailongbang. I'll let you know what the consequences are for messing with us Zhengshi brothers. Fearing him, he powerfully struck towards me. After narrowly dodging this strike, I immediately made a judgment in my heart. The older brother's strength is clearly superior. Relying on footwork alone, I can barely dodge. It seems I can only use that move. Thinking of this, I licked my lips with my tongue. Still the same words. I don't want to waste time on weaklings. So hurry up and bring it on. Hearing this, Zhengshi Shan rushed forward again with a single step. Just standing there foolishly will lead to trouble. With that, a single slash directly cut my shoulder. But the next second, his eyes widened in terror again. It's an afterimage. However, I was not surprised by this. Kongtong Pai's body technique combined with Dongcheng's Qianqing Shu. Even if you know this combination, no one can break it. Just like that. In the exchange of dodges and attacks, Zhang Zhishan finally revealed an opening. And I seized the opportunity, pressing my sword against his neck. Seeing this, the referee loudly announced on the spot, the winner of the second round is Li Zhixiu of Kongtong Pai. As soon as these words were spoken, the audience below immediately cheered repeatedly, and I shifted my gaze to behind me. Next is the most anticipated martial arts competition. That is the showdown with Hailongwei's young master. This was originally a martial arts competition concerning the fate of the sect. But my little brother stood up in front of everyone. This made the opponent on the scene extremely embarrassed. You scoundrel! What exactly do you want to do on the sacred martial arts platform? Just as I effortlessly defeated the Zhengshi brothers, I shifted my gaze behind me. Next is the most exciting martial arts competition. It's the showdown with Heilong's Wei Xiaonian. At this moment, Wei Xiaonian spoke first. We're all old acquaintances. No need for more pleasantries, right? However, I showed a wicked smile. Let's start by provoking him. That's right. You and I, your older brother, have a special relationship. Hearing this, Wei Xiaonian was instantly embarrassed and angry. But he quickly calmed down. You bastard. I won't be fooled by you again. Before the martial arts competition, I admit I underestimated your Kongtong Pai's martial arts. But even so, you are not my opponent. Saying this, his eyes suddenly turned cold. As a master, I'll let you attack first. Hearing this, I rushed forward in one step. In martial arts competitions, taking the initiative is very important. Then let's use the most powerful move to declare the start of the battle. Thinking this, I leaped into the air. The power surging from my dantian along the acupoints generates the leaping ability of yin-yang conduction and explosion. This is Hunyuan Gong. My pubic bone and coccyx trembled slightly. As the smoke from the collision slowly dissipated, I looked at the scene before me with utter shock. It was actually blocked. Suanjawai Xiaoyan then launched a counterattack. He first gathered internal energy in his left hand to repel me, then rushed forward with a long sword in his right hand. Your inferior sword technique is nothing compared to Hai Long Bang's Panlong Daofa. It's not worth mentioning at all. Seeing this, I could only desperately defend, although I was well aware of the vast difference in strength between us. Now is not the time to fall. Thinking of this, I used all my strength to execute a sweeping cut. However, Wei Xiaoyan, who dodged it, smiled contemptuously. The battle is about to end. Next, I'll let you experience my true strength. Seeing this, I secretly revealed a lewd expression. I definitely can't withstand this blow. But at the very least, I have to do this much to achieve the effect I planned. Because this is my goal. Pleasure without taking responsibility. If I defeat Wei Xiaoyan, my reputation will surely surpass senior brothers. This clearly goes against my original intention. So from the beginning, my goal was not to win, but to be gloriously defeated. As long as I use the Hunyuan Gong taught by senior brother, my little brother shouldn't stand tall. Then, and I Luo Xian Shui. The final protagonist is you. However, as soon as I started circulating my internal energy there, my little brother unconsciously stood up. Looking at the identical expressions of the audience, Master chuckled awkwardly. Zhixio, this kid, really. Even for puberty, his young energy is too exuberant. And Wei Xiaoyan was also affected, causing his sure wind blow to miss. Then, he grabbed my collar and questioned, you scoundrel. What exactly do you want to do on the sacred martial arts platform? Do you think I'd be fooled by your crude tricks? Fooled? At this moment, Lu Zhengwei hurriedly shouted from below the stage, Junior brother. Pull yourself together. You can't let go of Hunyuan Gong. Focus your qi. Hunyuan Gong will help your Luoxungshugung. Hearing this, I suddenly woke up as if from a dream. That's right, this martial arts competition isn't over yet. So I embarrassedly apologized. But as an apology, I proposed to him again a one move to decide the winner suggestion. Wei Xiaoyan readily agreed. Anyway, there's no need to waste stamina on you. After the plan succeeded, I often sighed. Although my little brother has been suppressed, I don't know when he'll stand up again. So, before I lose face again, let's quickly lose the match. As preparations were complete, Wei Xiaoyan and I, without prior agreement, rushed towards each other. Watching the violent explosion that occurred, Master couldn't help but sigh, Zhixio. This kid's internal energy has improved a lot. If it weren't for his earlier misbehavior, that disrupted the rhythm, perhaps he could have really competed with Wei Xiaoyan. At this time, within the martial arts stage, I fell to the ground as expected, and the referee's voice followed. The winner of the third round is Hailong Bang's Wei Xiaoyan. Hearing this, Wei Xiaoyan sneered coldly, serves you right. With this level of skill, you still dare to say you want to be my older brother. However, as soon as he finished speaking, the clothes on his body suddenly ripped open. Seeing this, the audience below was instantly dumbfounded. I didn't expect the final sword pressure to be so powerful. If young Master Li's martial arts were a bit higher, perhaps Heilung would have lost an arm. But some held a contrary opinion, even in a martial arts competition. This is too shameful, isn't it? Not only did he stand tall on the spot, but he also ripped the woman's clothes. At this moment, someone suddenly had a realization. Perhaps these are all young Master Li's plans. Doesn't Kong Tong Pai still have one contestant left? Although doing so is very shameful. To win by disrupting Heilung's spirit, only young Master Li can achieve this battle. He is an eccentric hero. Kong Tong Pai's eccentric hero is born. And within the martial arts stage, Lu Zhengwei was tightly holding me in his arms. Junior brother, you've worked hard. Now, let me end all this. Seeing this, Wei Xiaoyan directly tore off his ripped upper garment. Your gaze is truly fierce. This is the martial arts competition I've been looking forward to the most. Come on. The battle between righteous and evil finally came to an end. Lu Zhengwei ignited the entire arena with Kong Tong's ultimate technique. The entire martial world went crazy because of this. Even the usually mysterious Xue Jiao also launched its operation ahead of schedule. Right after Wei Xiaoyan defeated me, he began to look forward to the upcoming martial arts competition. Lu Zhengwei drew his sword. His body simultaneously activated Sanin, Jinjue and Xiaoyang Xinfa. Ming. When Yang and Erqi reached their peak, he launched a fierce offensive, initiating a forbidden technique against Wei Xiaoyan. Before Wei Xiaoyan could react, the sound of an explosion shook the entire martial arts platform in the next second. Seeing this, the audience below was utterly shocked. Even Sword Empress Inshuolan found it incredible. The strength of Kong Tong Pai's disciples is truly impressive. However, this duel can be said to be a battle between righteous and evil. Sect leader Quan, are you confident? Facing this tricky question, Quan Yin directly stated his inner thoughts. Compared to Zhang Wei, I'm more worried about his opponent. At this moment, within the martial arts stage, fear appeared in Wei Xiaoyan's eyes for the first time. His speed and strength are terrifyingly strong. If I hadn't instinctively blocked that blow, I might be lying on the stage now. Thinking of this, he closed his eyes. Because of the smoke, he couldn't clearly determine Lu Zhengwei's exact position, so he could only rely on his qi sense for defense. After a while, Lu Zhengwei attacked again. Fortunately, Wei Xiaoyan reacted quickly, blocking with his saber in time. So fast. I can barely see his figure. I can't even make out his moves. The most troublesome thing is that he disappeared again. If this continues, only a dead end awaits me. So he immediately swung his saber wildly, starting to use the saber's qi to disperse the smoke. Soon, a spectator below the stage was the first to spot Lu Zhengwei's figure. Look. Over there. The disciple of Kong Tong Pai. When did he get to the edge? Wei Xiaoyan, seeing this, taunted. Could it be that you're afraid of Hailongbang's Panlong Daofa? So you're trying to escape? But what Lu Zhengwei was thinking was indeed, too much time has been wasted. I will never let the person who injured my junior brother continue to act arrogantly. Now it's time to end this battle. But just then, Wei Xiaoyan had already executed Panlong Daofa and arrived before him. However, Lu Zhengwei was not flustered at all. I want the whole world to know that together with my junior brother, we found Kong Tong Pai's ultimate technique. Fumo Jianfa has returned. Now, I'll show you Kong Tong Pai's true strength. When the two forces collided instantly, the surroundings immediately erupted in flames and flying debris. During the stalemate, Wei Xiaoyan was astonished. Fumo Jianfa. When did Kong Tong Pai find it? Thinking of this, he suddenly felt uneasy. Could it be that Hailongbang's Jiujie Zhenlongdo is about to be broken? As expected, the next second, the Jiujie Zhenlongdo instantly shattered, and he was also thrown to the ground by the powerful residual force. A prodigy? That's nonsense. This is simply a monster. At this moment, Lu Zhengwei turned his gaze towards Wei Xiaoyan. He once again raised the long sword in his hand. It's still far from enough. Since you made my junior brother cry, I will make you shed tears of blood. Saying this, his eyes were firm as he judged Wei Xiaoyan. Just then, a loud shout suddenly echoed throughout the entire martial arts stage. I surrender. And at this moment, that long sword happened to stop at his neck. Immediately, Lu Zhengwei slowly sheathed his long sword. If there's a next time, I will not spare you. Then the referee announced the result of this martial arts competition. The winner is Lu Zhengwei of Kong Tong Pai. As soon as these words were spoken, the righteous faction below the stage immediately cheered loudly. And Inshuolan finally understood Master's words. No wonder sect leader Quan was so confident. It turns out Fumo Jinfa was found. This is truly a blessing for the righteous faction. But what she didn't expect even more was that Kong Tong Pai's eldest disciple was actually a Tianwu Jidi. It seems this matter will definitely cause a sensation in the martial world. 3 days later, in a dim grotto, a dancer dressed in red blood-colored clothes came to report. Greetings, Blood Demon Supreme. As soon as the words fell, the red blood claws began to boil. The next second, a red-haired, fair-skinned handsome man emerged. This person was precisely the blood cult leader. At this moment, the man in red spoke softly. Kong Tong Pai defeated Hai Longbang in the martial arts competition. Also, Fumo Jianfa appeared during the competition. It is said that disciple is a Tianwu Jidi. They also found Hunyuan Midong. Hearing this, a cold light flashed in the blood cult leader's blood-red eyes. This is really interesting. Now, speed up the operation. And those slowpokes. Speaking of this, the blood cult leader's hand merely lifted slightly. Blood. The blood water in the claws instantly solidified into a short blade. The next second, it flew directly to the red-clothed man's neck. And those slowpokes, I'll take their lives. But after the red-clothed man acknowledged the order and left, a cold smile curled on the blood cult leader's lips. Even if a Tianwu Jidi appears, it won't change anything. Once the plan is complete, the world will be ours. I spared no effort to win the martial arts competition. I should have received the admiration of all beautiful women. But instead, I gained an embarrassing nickname. Kong Tong Shijian. At this moment, I slowly opened my eyes. As my vision gradually cleared, I discovered a familiar figure. It was Su Xiaoling. I've troubled Miss Su again. How long was I unconscious? But after learning it was 3 days, I hurriedly asked her about the martial arts competition. Su Xiaoling smiled faintly. Yao Lian couldn't help but blush. The martial arts competition ended with Kong Tong Pai's victory. The people of the martial world also call young Master Ning and young Master Lu the Kong Tong twin heroes. Hearing this, I was instantly thrilled. How resounding. Just hearing this title can make the hearts of women in the world flutter. Su Xiaoling continued to speak. 2 heroes have emerged from Kong Tong Pai. The first is Kong Tong Xinxia, Lu Zhengwei. The second is Kong Tong Guixia, Li Zhexiu. Hearing this, I was completely stunned. Kong Tong Guixia? Shouldn't it be Kong Tong Jianxia? Come to think of it, after all, during the martial arts competition, my little brother stood up. So everyone used the word guai, eccentric/strange, for me? But even so, I'm unwilling to accept it. Because this word guai, generally speaking, is only used for a handful of scoundrels in the martial world. However, fortunately, there is still one thing to be happy about. And that is that Kong Tong Pai won. According to the agreement, I will be Wei Xiaonian's older brother from now on. Then, after seeing Master, he immediately praised our performance. And in public, announced the news of Su Xiaoling joining Kong Tong Pai. Hearing this, I secretly glanced at him. Sure enough, he accepted my proposal. Soon, after Su Xiaoling completed the formal discipleship ceremony, I suddenly spoke. Master, I might have to compete with Shimin Shijia. When I slightly adapted and recounted the whole story, Master let out a light sigh. Shimin Qinghe peeking at your martial arts practice. An argument occurred. It seems this martial arts competition is unavoidable. But the opponent is Jianfeng. Although Shimin Qinghe is not as formidable as Heilung, the #1 prodigy of the evil faction, nor as powerful, but is also a rising star with the title of Longfeng. I then gestured for him not to worry. If I thought I would lose, I would never have agreed to the martial arts competition. So please trust me, your disciple. Faced with the inevitable martial arts competition, Master could only agree. However, Lu Zhengwei was unhappy. Junior brother, your body hasn't recovered yet. You can't push yourself too hard. I immediately showed a businesslike smile. It's all right. Senior brother, I should also stand on my own. This martial arts competition, I will let people know that I am not a burden to our sect. A senior brother with a handsome appearance and the title of Kong Tong Xinxia can never understand my feelings at this moment. I must showcase a handsome side in this martial arts competition. Change the nickname of eccentric hero, and thereby change the eccentric hero nickname, and win the favor of the beautiful women in the righteous martial world. But before that, there is something even more important to do. So I asked Lu Zhengwei, senior brother, do you know where Heilong Wei Xiaonian is? After a while, I finally arrived at Lu Zhengwei's mentioned Xianhui Manor. Looking at the guard at the entrance, I confidently spoke, do you know who I am? After seeing my appearance clearly, the guard was utterly shocked. Kong Tong say, Jian, you still have the face to come here? Hearing the words Se Jian, my face instantly contorted. Are you referring to me? The guard furiously affirmed. During the martial arts competition, you were so disrespectful to our young gang leader. Can you still be considered an upright and honorable disciple of the righteous faction? Hearing this, I was instantly furious. Eccentric hero is one thing. After all, there's still a hero in it. But Se Jian, lewd sword. These bastards from the evil faction. How dare they give someone such a suggestive nickname? However, just as I was about to make a move, young Master Yu Ting's voice suddenly came from inside the gate. Soon, after meeting Wei Xiaoyan, he spoke first. According to the agreement, all the people from Zion Hui have been handed over to the authorities. The silver you borrowed has also been waived. So, what else could Kong Tong Se Jian possibly want? Hearing this, my expression immediately turned cold. He actually used that damn nickname too. Do you think I came for such a trivial matter? As I spoke, I directly approached him. Didn't you promise to call me brother? This made Wei Xiaoyan's face instantly flush red. How could it be that the world-renowned young gang leader of Hailong Bang is going to go back on his word? Hearing this, Wei Xiaoyan unwillingly called out brother. But I pretended to be deaf on the spot. Louder. I didn't hear you. Then, with a flushed face, Wei Xiaoyan closed his eyes and shouted, brother. That should be all right now, right? I winked at him with great satisfaction. Next time we meet, you have to call me brother too. After saying that, I quickly left. Next is to collect the reward won from this martial arts competition. But the only thing that worries me is this time. Could it still be that strongest gay? However, when I opened the door, the scene before me shocked me greatly. A table full of delicacies, and attire that looked a bit revealing. Plus this captivating fragrance. Could this woman be planning to eat me? The woman proactively removed her revealing clothes, intending to use a beauty trap to capture my heart. However, with just a simple flirtatious remark from me, she completely lost her mind. Just as I arrived at Kanhualu's VIP room to collect my winnings from the martial arts competition, the scene that greeted my eyes immediately set off alarm bells in my heart. A table full of delicacies, and clothes that looked a bit revealing, plus this fragrance. It seems like another Hongmen banquet. Then Lin Yuexiang arranged for me to sit beside her, and personally picked up a delicious dish. As I opened my mouth to receive it, the next second I instantly regained my senses, and knocked the chopsticks out of his hand. Truly a seductive vixen. I almost fell for it. The number one person in the evil faction wouldn't be so kind to me for no reason. Although I don't know her purpose, she must be testing my heart. I absolutely cannot be fooled by her. Let's stop here. I'm just here to collect my share of the winnings, not to play. Mingyue Xiangqi angrily threw out a money bag. Here are 200 taels of silver. Now, can we talk business? As she spoke, she suddenly began to take off her outer robe. Seeing this, I was instantly shocked. What are you doing? Lin Yuexiang shyly explained, I've already decided. Within the 9 prefectures and 8 desolations, my little sister's only brother is you, young Master Li. Brother, as long as you are willing, I can give you everything. Hearing this, I was utterly astonished. In my previous life, I heard at a Dongchang banquet that Lin Yuexiang had never revealed her body in front of a man. Could it be that this woman really has feelings for me? So I tentatively asked, really willing to do anything? Lin Yuexiang affirmed with anticipation. Seeing this, I instantly became confident. It seems I've already won half of Lin Yuexiang's heart. Then I must make good use of this opportunity. Please, in the Jianghu martial world, help me spread a rumor. Hearing this, Lin Yuexiang was extremely angry. You won't play with me, yet you want me to help you spread news? I eagerly affirmed. Shimin Qinghe, the daughter of Shimin Shijia, and Kong Tong Pai disciple Li Zhixiu will have a martial arts competition. The loser becomes the winner's servant. As I spoke, I suddenly leaned close to her, and gently played with her hair with my fingers. Xiangmei, are you willing to help me spread this news? Hearing this, Lin Yuexiang was utterly surprised. Xiangmei? You know, this is how men address their lovers. Seeing this, I continued to press my advantage. That's right, Xiangmei. I can only rely on you. Xiangmei. Lin Yuexiang, blushing deeply, turned her head away. Since it's brother's request, then Xiangmei will definitely. Hearing this, a wicked smile immediately appeared on my lips. Before she could finish, I left another please and quickly departed. And at this moment, Lin Yuexiang's heart was still restless. Xiang Mei. He actually called me Xiang Mei. This fluttering feeling is like being poisoned. Even if Li Zhixiu proposed to the Sword Empress, it's fine. Because I, Lin Yu Xiang, have already become his first lover. For my lover, of course I'll help him spread rumors. But this kid dares to use me. He's truly detestable. And on the other side, I was still smug about my previous actions. Ever since defeating Hai Longbang, Kong Tong Pai's prestige has been on the rise. Shimin Shijia, for the sake of face, had no choice but to agree to this martial arts competition. And this martial arts competition naturally became the contest for the strongest rising star of the righteous faction. However, there is still a crucial issue now. That is to find a martial arts impartial judge. Although martial arts competitions between righteous factions have no official standing, I already have the best candidate in mind. After a while, when I arrived at the relatively intact reception hall, Little Sword Empress Qian Zhaobing, sword in hand, blocked me at the door. Kong Tong Sijian, what brings you here? Suppressing my anger, I replied. You are not evil demons or heretics. Why do you use such an embarrassing title? Let's forget it this time. I have something to say to Jian Ho. Please report quickly. Xian Zhaobing directly said sorry. Jian Ho went out for a walk. Please come back tomorrow. However, we are returning to Hangshan Pai tomorrow. So you won't have a chance to see Master. Just then, a voice suddenly came from behind. Young Master Li, why have you come so late at night? The speaker was formally introduced by Jian Ho, Ying Shualai. After learning that I had a favor to ask, Yin Shualan immediately invited me into the house. After a few pleasantries, I directly stated my purpose. Senior Jian Ho, I am about to compete with a rising star from Shimin Shijia. It will be a martial arts competition. I wonder if you would be willing to be the impartial judge for the competition. Yin Shualan took a sip of tea thoughtfully. Compete with Shimin Shijia? Why should I be the impartial judge? I hurriedly explained. I can understand Senior Jian Ho's concerns. After all, I challenged you in front of so many people. But when I said I wanted to become a man worthy of you, those words were sincere. And this martial arts competition is precisely to take the first step towards that challenge in an upright manner. I hope you can see my sincerity. Then Yin Shualan directly voiced his concerns. Isn't there enmity between Kong Tong Pai and Hangshan Pai? Hangshan Pai took advantage of Kong Tong Pai's decline to successfully squeeze into the 9 sects. Everyone mocks us for being fair-weather friends. Hearing this, I instantly had an answer in my heart. It seems it's not possible. However, the next second, Yin Shualan's tone suddenly changed. But I really admire the challenger's growth, so I am willing to be your impartial judge. However, I have a request. I will tell you when the time is right. Hearing this, I immediately expressed my gratitude. But what puzzled me was, in my previous life, Hangshan Pai was always very mysterious. So there wasn't much information. What does Jian Ho actually want from me? The scene changes. Shimin Xiantian was questioning with a serious expression. Shimin Qinghe. And that reckless youth from Kong Tong Pai. Have you really agreed to a martial arts competition? This news has now spread throughout the entire martial world. The result of this martial arts competition will determine who controls the hegemony of Gansu province. Qinghe, why on earth did you agree to fight that guy? Shimin Qinghe expressed her apology with great remorse. I didn't mean to. Seeing this, Shimin Xiantian also felt his words were a bit harsh. So his attitude immediately softened. However, as long as you can defeat Li Zhixiu, all this can be turned into a blessing. Daughter, are you ready? This is a great opportunity to trample Kong Tong Pai underfoot. Seeing this, Shimin Qinghe's confidence immediately surged. Father, please write the challenge letter immediately. I will definitely drive that guy out of Kong Tong Pai. She was originally the renowned Jade Maiden sect leader, yet she unexpectedly pulled me into her embrace. This made the corners of my mouth uncontrollably curve upwards. Tonight's moon is really big and round. Previously, Kong Tong Pai entrusted Chiziyu with spreading rumors. It should be almost done. But just as I was about to write the challenge letter, Lu Zhengwei ran towards me with an excited expression. Junior brother, Shimin Shijia has sent you a challenge letter for this martial arts competition. I've specially prepared some things for you, junior brother. Saying that, he revealed a meaningful smile. This time, we must ruthlessly trample Shimin Shurjia underfoot. Just like that, Lu Zhengwei imparted the improved Hunyuan to me, unexpectedly. Using it this time was much easier than before. But what I found difficult to handle was, Lu Zhengwei was becoming increasingly enthusiastic. At this moment, Lu Zhengwei suddenly mentioned my confession to Senior Jianho and asked me if it was serious. This made me feel very surprised. How can senior brother be so straightforward? Could he have been hit hard? Thinking of this, I directly patted his shoulder. My confession to Senior Jianho was not sincere. The martial arts competition with Hailongbang was to announce Kongtong Pai's resurgence. We needed something that would leave a deep impression on everyone. Xinba Lu Zhengwei's face lit up with joy. As expected of junior brother, I didn't expect it to have such a deep meaning. I verbally thanked him for his understanding. But in my heart, I was thinking, I must gain the favor of the Tianwu Jidi. But Lu Zhengwei's overly enthusiastic reaction still exceeded my expectations. Why is this something to be so happy about? A week later, after continuous practice, Hunyuan Gong became more and more proficient. But what gave me a headache was this damned Niluozungswaging. To use Fumo Jianfa, one must use Niluozungswaging. But every time, I get an erection. What am I going to do? Shimin Shurjia is taking this martial arts competition very seriously. If I don't prepare well, I will definitely lose. So, no matter what happens, I must complete Niluozungswaging. Just then, in the bushes not far away, there was a sudden rustling sound. I saw Sword Empress In Shualon slowly walking towards me. I was just strolling in Kongtong Pai. I didn't expect to encounter young Master Li. But why are you in such a remote place? Practicing? I hurriedly covered my little brother and explained. Quiet places make it easier to concentrate. Jianho also noticed I was a bit tired. Is it due to insufficient inner cultivation? I told him. Because there's an important martial arts competition coming up. So I've been a bit anxious lately. Hearing this, Jianho paused for a few seconds. Meeting is fate. Why? Don't I lend you a hand? How about it? To receive guidance from a sword empress of a generation is simply a great honor. Then I took the lead in adopting an attacking stance and launched a full power strike. As a result, not only did Jianho easily block it, but she also discovered many shortcomings. Now it's your turn to block my attack. As soon as the words fell, Jianho raised her sword and attacked me. The dense offensive forced me to defend. Young Master Li's Fumo Jianfa defense is very weak. The next second, she slashed towards my chest. This sword strike directly cut open my 5 blessings. Afterwards, Jianho pointed out my current problem. The way of yin and yang is the foundation of Kongtong Pai. The most fundamental aspect is the harmony of yin and yang. But young Master Li, your martial arts are too biased to one side. Hearing this, I was instantly shocked. Thinking about it carefully. In this life, my mind has indeed been full of training experience. The main cultivation also has been entirely focused on cultivating young energy. Could it be this disharmonious cultivation method that is preventing me from growing? Afterwards, Jianho reminded me again that I can focus my cultivation on yin-yang harmony. This made me suddenly realize, because I was once a eunuch, this made me subconsciously reject yin energy. That's why I broke the yin-yang balance and got an erection. Only yin-yang harmony can allow Hunyuan Gong and Niluozungswaging to coexist. So I first used Hunyuan Gong to enhance my internal energy, then combined it with Niluozungswaging. Then, he used Fumo Jianfa against Jianho. In the last life, Wei Tua Fumo. Jianho, who blocked this strike, was very satisfied and praised me. And I never expected that I would actually unleash sword chi. And this time, my little brother didn't get up either. I've finally stepped into the first-rate realm. Overcome with excitement, exhausted, my whole body began to go limp. Jianho, seeing this, promptly pulled me into her embrace. Even so, the corners of my mouth still couldn't help but curve upwards. Tonight's moon is truly big and round. This was supposed to be a battle of righteousness among righteous factions. But before that, many romantic rumors about me had spread. And behind all this, what secret was hidden? At this moment, lying in the room, I was still constantly recalling the scene from last night. The chance encounter with Jianho, the sparring under the moonlight, breaking through to the first-rate realm, plus the unexpected skin-to-skin contact. Just thinking about it makes my heart pound. Just then, Su Xiaoling suddenly burst in from outside the door. Young Master Li, I heard many rumors about you in the market. They say you're two-timing. It turned out that while Su Xiaoling was out buying fruit, everyone was discussing the martial arts competition between Shimin Shijia and Kong Tong Pai. Have you heard? Jianfeng Shimin Qinghe and Li Zhixiu were secretly involved. But because Kong Tong Pai and Shimin Shijia are sworn enemies, the two have been secretly in love. Finally, Li Zhixiu told Shimin Qinghe. After breaking up, he started dating Lin Yuexiang. But Shimin Qinghe, unable to forget Li Zhixiu, applied for a martial arts competition to win him back. In addition to dating Lin Yuexiang, there are also rumors that he is going to marry Lin Yuexiang, not Jianho. Various romantic rumors constantly circulated in the martial world. Regardless of whether it was true or false, this made Su Xiaoling find it hard to believe. This led to the scene where Su Xiaoling rushed into the room. Hearing this, my face was full of anger. How can there be such strange rumors? Later, Master, who heard the news, also came to ask me what was going on. Tomorrow is the day of the martial arts competition. Spreading such rumors, even if you win the competition, it won't do you any good. I clenched my fists and denied the rumor on the spot. But I knew in my heart that only Chiziu could spread such rumors, and her purpose was to announce to the public that I was her lover. Thinking of this, I tearfully complained to Master with a slightly altered story. During the righteous and evil battle with Hailongbang, to avoid the eyes of Shimin Shijia and see off the impartial judge, I once sought out Shaman. It must be that evil faction, after losing the martial arts competition, harbored resentment. So they came up with these rumors to secretly harm me. Master rubbed his head, looking incredulous. Even for an evil faction, doing this is too shameless. I then signaled Master not to worry, and assured him that I would definitely quell these rumors. Afterwards, I personally went to the tavern to verify. But what made me even angrier was that they were actually treating my affairs as a source of after-dinner entertainment. Some even said my little brother was very impressive. But just as I was facing this established fact and choosing to observe the situation, a voice suddenly caught my attention. Doesn't everyone know that it was Lin Yuexiang herself who spread this news? I heard that because she was afraid that Shimin Qing, he and Li Zhixiu's feelings would deepen, she ordered someone to spread this rumor. Hearing this, the crowd instantly lost interest. On the other hand, I was puzzled. The rumor has started to change? After wandering around the market for a while longer, I suddenly confirmed an answer in my heart. That is, this rumor, due to someone's intervention, is slowly changing its direction. And Lin Yuexiang's unrequited love for me, a false rumor, is definitely a good thing for me. But who exactly is helping me in secret? To confirm this matter, I directly went to the outskirts where beggars gathered, and the other party recognized my identity at a glance. Isn't this the famous Kongtong Shijian? Awkward, though, I wasn't surprised. Although the beggars' sect is an organization of beggars, they are all renowned righteous factions that abide by the code of chivalry, numerous and widely dispersed. Therefore, in terms of collecting and disseminating intelligence, compared to shaman, they are even better. Then, I told them straightforwardly that I had a commission. The beggar at the head took me into a room and asked what the matter was. I took out a money bag and said, "Please help me investigate." A eunuch in the imperial palace named Zhang Yihan. That guy not only kidnaps youths, but also cuts off their little brothers and sells them to the imperial palace. He's a heinous villain. The beggar's sect disciples also deeply detested this. This kind of person is simply unforgivable. Young hero Li is so distressed about this matter. He truly is a man of chivalry. But what he didn't know was, Zhang Yihan was the madman who turned me into a eunuch. And on the first day of my rebirth, I swore that one day I would kill him. After hearing that the intelligence would take a week, I bid farewell to the beggar's sect with a heavy heart. Only Dongcheng can change the rumors spread by shaman. And only one person can control such a powerful intelligence organization. And that is only one person. That is the emperor from my previous life. Although I suspect that the emperor chasing after me in my rebirth is a delusion. But apart from him, No one knows about the dirty deeds Zhang Yihan has done. So, as long as I investigate whether Zhang Yihan is alive or dead, I will know if the emperor has intervened. I just hope it's not the emperor. But no matter what, this matter is considered resolved. Now all that's left is the martial arts competition with Shimin Qinghe. As long as I win the martial arts competition, I can change public opinion and completely shed that embarrassing nickname. Completely get rid of